tires. AquaTread's deep groove design channels way to keep more tire in contact with the road for outstanding wet traction. This is hydroplaning. This is AquaTreading. The all-season AquaTread only from Goodyear. It comes with a 60,000-mile tread life warranty. Goodyear AquaTread. Try a set. We like to say the best tires in the world have Goodyear written all over them.
Maybe it's the water, or something in the air that gives people here that thing we call common sense. You can see it in their faces, and the things they do, like going to 76 for their gasoline. It's the same quality the winners at NASCAR depend on. And people figure if it can satisfy the demands of racing, think what it can do for their cars. And that makes sense, which around here comes as no surprise. 76, go with the spirit.
Introducing Ford Taurus SHO and the craving. If you've had a craving for a truly sophisticated performance sedan, may we suggest our 24-valve, 220 horsepower Taurus SHO, now available with automatic transmission. Think of it as caviar for the power hungry.
This is CBS.
Some people believe personal injury lawsuits are only about money. Well, they're wrong. They don't see the injustices I see every day, the lifetime of pain inflicted on innocent victims, the negligence that ruins lives, insurance companies that take your money but don't know how to be fair. Bright Drescher and Bright isn't here to simply fight for money. We're here to fight for justice.
Bright Drescher and Bright. They're lawyers who know how to win.
Uh-oh. Looks like we could be stuck here for a while.
I'll be right back.
When you need a battery, there's no better place than Advance Auto Parts. The prices are great, installation is free, and we'll even recycle your old battery. And of course, there's our legendary friendly service.
Okay, folks, all set. Guess this was your lucky day.
How to buy a used car, beginning Wednesday at 5 on Channel 3.
We're back with you on Under Caution for the third time today. Talk about your midway thrills. The ride just taken by Sterling Marlin was something. Out of turn number 4. This car number 8 breaking loose. Take a look here.
Looked like Wally Dallenbach got into the wall. Saw 71 Cup cars lifted. Boy, there goes up in the air. It's Sterling up in the air. Looked like they might have lifted because of that accident in front of him, and he got it backwards. Indeed. There.
Got it in the grass and kept it coming around. From another angle, take a look. Whoa.
And that's that rear spoiler that Neil was showing us at the first of the race. When it got absolutely backwards at that speed, it just lifted the back end off the ground.
Talk about a flying machine. That's a 3,500-pound flying machine.
A couple of years ago, without those side windows and all the things that's been done, these side skirts, that car would probably went on up and over. But NASCAR has really been working to get these cars, when they have a problem, to keep them on the ground.
Look at it again in normal speed to the guy who finished second here in 91 to Ernie Irvin, Sterling Marlin. And take a listen to this.
Look at Joe Ruttman.
Yeah, coming into the pits, he said, what in the world is going on?
Yeah, before that area, we just saw him slide down on that pavement. That used to be grass, and when that grass was there, the air would get on the cars, turn over. NASCAR paved that area, and it really helped set that car back down.
Saw some very nasty accidents up there before. Lucky Sterling Marlin. Leaders all coming in. Let's take a look at the leaderboard as you watch feeding time for the elephants here on pit road. Earnhardt, Irvin, Jarrett, Bodine, Hillen were the leaders at lap 129. Mike Joy has more on pit road.
Earnhardt's crew at work. They call them the Flying Aces, and you're about to see why. David Smith on jack. Chocolate Myers tosses that empty gas can. Bobby Moody will lend. New crew chief Andy Petrie. Tire changing there. Left side's off. Car is all the way up in the air. Tires were off before it was. Hammer home those lug nuts. Down he goes. He's gone.
So are the Bodine brothers.
You know, we just saw earlier, Ken, Ricky Rudd's transmission or rear end brake taking off. Everybody says, well, why do they do that? Why do they spin the wheels? These cars have got such big, tall, high ratio gears, you just got to rev the motor up and just drop the clutch like a drag car, or you just can't get it rolling.
Mike Joy.
They're trying to find the misfiring problem on Alan Kulwicki's car. Earl Parker of Champion has brought them a tool to measure the electric flow through those wires and see if the plugs are all firing properly so they can find which one to change, or at least which cylinder has the problem.
If we got an opportunity to take another look at that Sterling Marlin incident, I think that Michael Waltrip was the one involved. I thought for a moment it might have been a Phil Parsons number 41, but it looked like Mike was in there with Dallenbach on that incident up in turn number 4. And we also noticed just a moment ago the Ernie Irvin crew was out here. They see, I don't know if they were waving, give their guys some confidence, or if they were concerned about something as he came back on the track. The Ernie Irvin car. Here you see Davey Allison coming back out again as well. Let's take a look, Ned, at this replay another time here.
Well, we can see Joe Ruttman headed to the pits, and there is the Dallenbach car about to get, he did get into the wall, and I guess Sterling Marlin must have let off, and Michael Waltrip hit him in the rear, and that sent him in the spin and up in the air.
You're right, Ed. Ruttman had to say, what in the world? This guy's going by on the left backwards.
Now, this is a break for Kyle Petty. He had just made that green flag pit stop, but he stayed in the lead lap. So now he's back on the same sequence as everyone else as far as his pit stops are concerned. Only thing is, he's back in the pack, but that car's awfully fast. I think he can come back up through there.
Here's David Hobbs.
Richard Petty, your son there had a bit of a lucky break with that accident. What do you think about his day so far?
Well, he had a bad break because he shouldn't have been in that position. They had a little problem and the pit had to make an extra pit stop. So, you know, everything's looking good so far.
And your car, Rick Wilson, you had to stop then, all 4 tires have changed. You didn't change the car at all, did you?
Well, what happened to begin with, the car got loose, but the main thing, we made a bad pit stop the first time. That got him behind. He's been running as fast as the leaders. He's just been about 12 or 14 seconds behind, but hopefully we got him hooked up now. We'll find out right quick.
You did this race for 32 years. This is the first time you haven't done it. I mean, how are you feeling about it? Do you feel a bit sad?
Well, no, I tell you, as aggravating as these cars are and the way they got them with the restrictor plates, I'm glad I'm watching and not out there.
Okay, thanks very much, Richard, and back to Ken.
Richard's car is running 23rd. There are 28 cars in the lead lap. And right now, let's try to talk to the man in 4th place. Jeff Bodine, Ken Squire, do you read us here, sir?
Hi there, Ken. How you doing?
How are you doing is the question.
Well, I'm doing fine. How about everybody watching out there and across America, around the world? Isn't this a fun race?
Are you having fun?
I'm having a ball out here.
How does this compare to that bobsledding you're involved in?
Well, you know, a bobsled's not scarier, I think. Of course, I've been in some pretty scary spots here today, so maybe it's about equal, but we're proud of the bobsled. The fellas are over there in Europe now testing and getting ready for the Olympics next year.
It's a wonderful thing that you're doing there, but let's talk for a moment about what you're doing here. That car has looked very stout. Do you think you have enough to carry it up front, Jeff?
Well, we're up front. The problem is getting by these GM cars. As you have been watching, as soon as I get in front of them, they just seem to blow right by me. Don't really have enough get up and go to stay out in front, but you know, we'll ride here, do the best we can, hopefully be in a good position at the end to make a move.
Jeff, did you realize you're running side by side with your brother there?
Yeah, I wanted him to get behind me to help me push me up, but hey, we're racing out here, and you know, we're trying to work with all the Ford cars and let those GM guys work together. That's worked pretty good sometimes, but every once in a while we don't get the right cooperation we want.
Well, thanks for taking us hitchhikers along. Let's go over to Mike Joy for just a moment.
Well, Ken, 1 year ago, Jeff walked along the starting grid of this race with me after watching Olympic bobsledding on CBS, and he told me, says, I want to go drive one of those things.
Had looked on television.
We made it!
But Bodine felt he could help the U.S. team. He commissioned Chassis Dynamics in Oxford, Connecticut, who've built race cars for all 3 Bodine brothers, to analyze current sleds and build a new U.S. prototype. Where Bob Cuneo and Bob V found many sleds to be similar, they copied existing designs. Where they found the sleds to differ, they innovated. And as in auto racing, they rented World Cup bobsled sites the day after a race there to test under actual competition conditions. I asked Jeff what moved him to become so deeply involved in somebody else's sport.
The last time an American won a gold medal in the bobsledding was 1936 with an American-made bobsled, and that's the last time they had an American-made bobsled. So that's our goal, to build these bobsleds, provide them to the drivers, to the teams, and then go win some medals.
Jeff has already put $135,000 of his own money into this project. They are looking for corporate sponsorship. And you'll see this in much greater detail if you tune into CBS Winterfest coverage next Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern.
It's a great story. They really have helped that team along. They've come up with some new sleds. They get a tenth of a second. They're going to get themselves some medals. We're going to get green this time by and be racing once again here in the 500. And Jeff Bodine in car number 15 will be in fourth. Deployed in front, Earnhardt first, Dale Jarrett in second, Ernie Irvan in third. Now Kyle Petty will be back in 12th position on this restart. Here you see Kowicki's car. Let's take a look at 1 through 15 for a moment here. Earnhardt, Jarrett, Irvan, Bodine, and Schrader. And in the second 10, you have Rusty Wallace. That car number 2 Pontiac beginning to roll up through. Rick Mash, Jeff Gordon, Brett Bodine, and Bobby Hillen. Mark Martin, Kyle Petty, Shepard, Hamilton, Musgrave. We can look a little further back here too, Ned.
Yeah, we still have 27 cars in the lead lap. All of these cars, drivers we're looking at here, are still in the lead lap.
Contenders.
Spencer's up there in 21st place. Michael Waltrip in 25th place. He's had a little bit of a problem, but still in the lead lap. And there, Wally Dallenbach Jr. is in 27th place. He's the last car in the lead lap. Phil Parsons is 1 lap down in 28th position. See how far back Davey Allison is, boy.
Getting set on a restart here. Hensley, Marcus, those cars out of the race. Dick Trickle coming down for green.
This will be the first chance we see. Dale Earnhardt's been leading the race. Dale Jarrett has been making up ground all day long. He's right on Earnhardt's bumper. We see if he's got anything for him now.
I expect he'd be content for a few laps here, Neil, just to try to pull him away from the rest of the field and try to build up a little bit of a lead that Kyle Petty and Dale Earnhardt had going there before Kyle had to make that unscheduled pit stop. You got 3 Chevrolets there right now. Ernie Irvan is tagged on to them as well.
Most impressive car in the last 25 laps was Jarrett in the 18. Earnhardt staying up there, but Jarrett just wound that field in and rolled through. Irvan right there in the number 4, giving us these pictures of Dale Jarrett in second place as they come to full song in the Daytona 500.
Still going fast on that 4th turn.
No speed limit at Daytona today as Earnhardt stays out in front. Jarrett's in second. Ernie Irvan in third and Bodine in fourth.
You know, they offered me the job to run that camera coming off turn 4. You think they were telling me something?
Yeah.
Whoever's hanging onto that thing better run.
It's got to feel good, though, to be in the midst of that and know you're among the very best, Neil.
I tell you what, these guys here have worked so hard this winter. Every one of these top teams, they've been working themselves to death to get these cars going, and now they're getting to see what they've got. And I'm telling you, the thing's going to shake out. We've got the most lead changes coming up we've had ever at this place. It's going to be quite an ending for this.
A lot of brother acts out here today. The Bodine brothers, the Waltrip brothers, the Wallace brothers, the Labonte brothers. A lot of guys came into this sport, and the young kid that used to work on the race car came along a little later. They've progressed up through the ranks, run the short tracks, paid their dues, found their way into this 500. Rick Wilson with the STP race cam. And that car number 42 continues to wind its way back into this field, currently being shown in 17th position. Right in front of him, Derek Cope. There's Harry Gant down at the bottom in the 33.
Boy, we see Gant on the inside. He's had problems all day long. They just can't get the car running like he needs to, and they're just going right on by him.
But strategy has let him lead this race on a couple of different occasions, but he has not been up to speed. It's just gas mileage and making an early pit stop during a caution that put him in that position.
The deal we had earlier, the out of sync, is out the window now. We had this caution, and it pretty well got everybody where they'll be pitting together again now.
Back straight away. 139 of 2 complete of 200. And there you see Earnhardt first. Dale Jarrett right there in second spot. What a turnaround for him a year ago. They lost, what, 3 cars here? Let David Hobbs has this report for us.
Well, I'm with Buddy Barrett, Rusty Wallace's crew chief, and you've come up from 34th position. You're now in 6th, right with that lead draft. How's it going?
Well, it's really good right now. Rusty just came in, put 4 of those good year Eagles on that race car, and he said the car's handling great. We've had a car all day that was a little loose to start with, but as the fuel burns off, the car freezes up and gets real good, as you know, everybody's been watching. I just want to say one thing for the guys back in the fab shop. Y'all did a great job on these cars.
Thanks very much, Buddy, and back to you, Ken.
Buddy Parrott, you can tell when he talks about those good years. He was an old tire buster for years. That's how he got started. Buddy Parrott won Daytona 1990 with Derek Cope.
Trouble on the backstretch.
Straightaway. Going into turn 3, Rick Wilson's car has been collected in this crash. There's Hamilton's car. Rick Wilson dropping down to the inside. The number 44 car running in 17th gets hammered. He's okay.
Trying to get the motor recranked. He's over trying to hit the starter. Trying his best to get that thing cranked up where he can get it back there and see if they can get it, finish the race.
At lap 141.
He was running in 17th position. Still in the lead lap and certainly still in contention. Too bad.
Richard Petty on the radio talking to driver Rick Wilson. Richard knows all about that. He's been there before himself a lot in the last 2 or 3 years and in this race.
Well, you can see he has it headed back towards the pits now. A lot of damage done to the right front. Certainly killed the aerodynamics on the car. I don't believe it would measure up to those templates now that Gary Nelson has, who's the competition director in Weston Cup Racing.
Robbie Loomis is now his crew chief. He worked with Rick way back, early days in Florida on the short tracks. Looks to me like they're going right to the garage area. 3rd straight Daytona 500 crash for Rick Wilson. 1992, he had a crunch up in turn 4. Trouble back in 91. And now today, up here in turn 3. It comes to an end early for Rick Wilson of Bartow, Florida, now carrying the Petty colors.
He's got the front end knocked out so bad, the wheels are turned in opposite directions that he actually can't get the car to turn well enough to get it in the garage where they can try to fix it. There goes Richard. He's going to get in and oversee the work, see if they can get the car back out.
First time he has ever been in this position.
Chasing the car and run into the garage without a set of wheels under him. Looks like they're going to try their best to get him back out here.
You know, while Richard and these guys are running the garage, Jeff Budine is on pit road. But he's the only one of the leaders got the hood up. Looks like they're working. Maybe he's running a little bit warm. They're working that, cleaning that grill area off. Put a little water in. See the radiator, the water hose over the deal. They stuck a little bit of water in. He must be running hot.
86 champion of the 500. Let's take another look at what happened up here in turn 3, folks. They're working on that car 44. There you see Richard all around it. And here's what created this disaster for the Petty team.
Well, you can see Rick Wilson was down on the inside at the very top of the screen. There were 3 abreast going into that turn, and it looks like he just clipped someone going into the turn. Bobby Hamilton was up on the outside. That's the bright pink car you see, or they're calling it pink. It looks almost orange, but they stayed together up on the high side of the racetrack for a pretty good little bit.
Thank goodness
this is the aftermath.
Yeah, it's a good thing they stayed up there, Ken, because if it came, look at the traffic coming by. Good thing they stayed up long enough for that traffic to clear. Then the track will actually sweep it clean. They'll come off that banking. Rick gets it right up against the wall, and then he cuts it down after everyone clears them.
From Wilson's car, we're going to see what happened.
Well, here we are running down the backstretch in single file, or at least it appears that way. Rick up next to the wall, and, well, that's when he gets into the wall. He had gotten single file then, but going into the turn, he was actually 3 abreast. He was down on the inside.
Long time before he finds Hamilton there.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing.
Hamilton's right up into him by now. I thought there was a second hit. You saw it drive that car forward again. Not true. It just stayed there.
There's Hamilton pulling out from on the high side of the track. Ernie Irvin coming into the pits right now as we watch this situation of the 44 car of Rick Wilson. There's Irvin. He had moved up to second place around Dale Jarrett just as the caution was coming out.
Here's Mike Joy.
We're seeing some interesting strategy played out here. This looks like a normal caution flag pit stop, but it was carefully timed. There are 58 laps left in this race. Ernie Irvin, Tony Glover, engine builder Runt Pittman and their crew feel they can go the distance from here. Barely. So they brought Irvin in now. The rest of the leaders are staying on the track. They will likely pit when the indication is 1 lap to go to be sure of having enough gas to go to the checkered flag in this race. But Irvin, by having pitted right at this time, will end up after the caution flag with better track position and a full tank to go the distance.
And track position is going to tell the story. Let's listen again to what happened out here to this number 44 when he got in trouble in the back straightaway. You could really hear the impact of that second hit from Bobby Hamilton, and it seemed to take forever before he found him.
And he was glad that most of the cars had gotten by. He stayed up on the high side of the track next to the wall long enough for the traffic to get by before he came down across the track. He didn't have much control of the car coming back down across the track, and he was just glad nobody was there to hit him.
So for Rick Wilson, it's a hard day's work here at Daytona. We'll be back to decide who's going to win it in a moment.
You know, when it comes to protecting against friction, nothing beats Quaker State. When it comes to keeping engines clean, nothing beats Quaker State. When it comes to protecting against viscosity breakdown, nothing beats Quaker State. It's one tough motor oil.
What's so daring about Prism car polish? It's not how you put it on, but how you take it off.
Prism Car Polish, the first and only spray-away approach to car polishing. Just wipe it on and spray it off. And in half the time, you get a durable shine. No huffing, no puffing, no buffing. Prism, the spray-away car polish.
Cost you to race in this business.
The winningest battery of NASCAR isn't a special racing battery.
I have well over 600 NASCAR starts with a Die-Hard battery.
It's exactly the same battery you can buy for your car at Sears.
You have to be crazy to come out here without a Die-Hard.
Sears Die-Hard, the official battery of NASCAR.
I have never had a failure on the starting line yet.
You can count on me.
Die-Hard. More power when you need it most.
You know, when it comes to protecting against friction, nothing beats Quaker State. When it comes to keeping engines clean, nothing beats Quaker State. When it comes to protecting against viscosity breakdown, nothing beats Quaker State. It's one tough motor oil.
The numbers are heartbreaking. Almost 2 million American teenagers use illicit drugs. More than 250,000 of them use cocaine or crack at least once a week. To appreciate the magnitude of these numbers, all you have to do is look at one. Remember, it's not a game, it's your life. Don't let it end in sudden death.
Overhead today is the Goodyear blimp, making its silver anniversary appearance at the Daytona 500. We're just taking green and getting back underway with some 145 laps complete here at Daytona in the 35th running of the 500. And as they sort them out, Earnhardt stays first, Jarrett's in second, and the big story, Rusty Wallace for the moment in third spot. He's had a very consistent run up through the field in that black car number 2, the Penske car, running in third spot. A little further back, Rick Mast is in fourth, started 31st today. Number 1, Rick Mast having a good run with Jeff Gordon, the rookie, back up in 5th spot that we saw lead the first lap.
There were several cars that made pit stops, late pit stops. Ken Schrader, who was running in third place, made a pit stop. Of course, we documented that Ernie Irvin did, and he's going to try to go all the way. Several drivers trying to go all the way.
That's a long way to go at 146 laps.
It really is. I didn't think they had that kind of range.
Maybe Harry can.
You know, Ned, we know they stretch it when they can go 125. Boy, they're really doing some speculating. They think they can go this far.
Mike Joy.
I just talked to Runt Pittman, former engine builder of the year. He puts the power to Ernie Irvan. I said, Runt, 145 miles. That's 6.6 miles per gallon. Are you sure? He says, this thing gets better mileage than my wife's car.
And we'll not tell what brand of car that is, will we?
Better not. Here you see Earnhardt out in front. There you see Dale Jarrett right with him. The car down at the bottom of the racetrack that they're lapping is the Hamilton car, which was involved with Rick Wilson in that incident in turn 3 that brought out the caution.
Now, Kyle Petty was another of those drivers that made a late pit stop, topped off the fuel tank. Maybe expecting to go the rest of the way.
Average speed at 162 miles an hour. The record 177, Buddy Baker in 1980. What a race we have here. With 25 cars still in the lead lap. There you see Earnhardt first. Looking a little further back, there's that number 1, Rick Mast in 4th. Gordon right behind him. And then look at the rest of this field. Here's David Hobbs.
This is the tire off the car of Bobby Hamilton. He got squeezed up against the wall there by Rick Wilson. The bodywork got pushed onto the tire and sliced it like a tin opener all the way around. But the beauty of these Goodyear radials for this stock car racing is that they have this inner liner. And this tire has still got all the pressure in it. Obviously, it doesn't work as well as the thing should do. But boy, oh boy, what a great safety feature they have on these NASCAR tires. But Bobby Hamilton's in the pit shut again to take more bodywork off more front tire. The car's not looking too good at the moment. Hitting it hard with the hammer there, trying to move that bodywork off that left front tire where it got pushed onto it by Rick Wilson by that accident on the back straight.
Down towards show and tell time here in the Daytona 500. It started out with a rookie leading the very first lap. And we've seen Earnhardt, Kyle Petty, and Jarrett being some of the dominating factors, as well as Schrader in this race. 4 caution periods in the race. We've had 29 lead changes among 12 drivers thus far. What's impressed you about this 500 so far, Ned?
The number of cars that we've seen running up front, the number of lead changes that we have had so far here today. It just, and there's trouble on the backstretch.
It's Ernie Irvan's car that's slapped into the wall.
Looks like it's hitting a ton, too, on that right front.
Now you wonder if that strategy, they'll say, I wish we hadn't done. Don't know what caused this, but being back in a pack, you certainly are more subject to get involved in something like this than if you were up front.
Car grinding to a halt, Ernie Irvan's number 4. And the 91 champion as the caution comes out for the 5th time.
And all the rest of them now can make a pit stop and make it the rest of the way from here.
Faces the frustration that comes after you've tagged the wall. As to why, we'll take a look at that in a moment. There you can see some of the debris off car number 4 up against the wall.
Boy, as Ned said, all of that strategy's out the window. He's sitting completely on the bare rim, so that right there will be headed to the garage.
All right, let's take a look again at what happened from Ernie Irvan's vantage point.
Certainly been a contender in the Kodak car. He's been right at the front of the pack. Now
Oh boy, he can't even steer the car. He got hit from the inside by someone, and it just slammed him right into the wall.
Here's another shot, see if we can see what's happening. He's coming along. Looked like the 66 car inside. It's hard to tell what happened. But boy, Ernie went right out in that inside wall and took a real hard lick.
Still another angle.
And you see the black number 66 of Derek Cope coming on by. It looked like they made contact as they came off of turn 2.
From Jeff Bodine's car.
Here's Jeff coming off the banking onto the back straightaway. We see Irvan up there. They swerve together. Irvan right in the wall. Boy, Bodine just barely cleared the accident.
Ernie Irvan.
Looks like he's
not happy.
No, he isn't happy. And pit road is closed right now. Although there's some cars that are coming on pit road, they're making a mistake because pit road is closed because of Irvin's car sitting down there. You see all these cars on pit road? Pit road is actually closed.
Under caution with 50 laps.
Kenny Wallace came in, Davey Allison, Wally Dallenbach. Hamilton's car came on pit road, but none of the leaders. And there you see number 4 where it came to rest. He tried to steer it down onto pit road, and it slapped the wall there too. And Ernie Irvin is hot.
Well, he had a crash in the Daytona 500 last year. He was fighting for the lead with Bill Elliott and Sterling Marlin. Big crash on the 91st lap.
50 laps to go.
And all of those cars I mentioned that have come into the pits, when the pits were closed, they'll have to go to the rear of the line, of the longest line, when they restart this race.
Last year he was out early, credited with 28. And again this year. Not a good day for Ernie Irvin of the Morgan McClure team in their hopes of winning the 500 for a second time.
Seems that some boys just don't know how to play nice.
So you wanna play tough?
Introducing the bold new Ford Ranger.
You say you wanna play mean?
With its new look, Ranger's changing the rules. The stance is wider, and with push-button four-wheel drive and a new body full of curves, guess we're just not playing fair.
Rest never rest. Ford's got a new machine.
What's in the bag?
Lunch. Big Mac, fries.
Play you for it.
You and me for my Big Mac?
First one to miss watches the winner eat. No dunking. One knee.
It's me. Get in there.
Off the floor, off the scoreboard, off the bank board, no rim.
Over the second rafter, off the floor, nothing but net. Through the window, off the wall, nothing but net.
What you want is what you get, and McDonald's today.
Off the expressway, over the river, off the billboard, through the window, off the wall, nothing but net.
What does it take to be a mountain man? Do you need a big horse? Do you need a deep tan? Do you have to have a saddle? Do you have to have the gear? Well, the simple truth is you just gotta have the beer.
Busch Beer, an easy drinking Busch Light. Have you got what it takes to be a mountain man?
What does it take to live a mountain man's life? Get smooth Busch Beer is a drinking Busch Light.
Monday, things you thought would never happen will. It's the episode everybody's going to be talking about, so you can't afford to miss it. An all-new Northern Exposure Monday.
The leaders will be able to go the distance. They'll be able to take on the fuel they need to finish this 500. It won't be in question. And let's take a look at those leaders right now. Earnhardt first, Jarrett second, Wallace, Mast, Jeff Gordon.
Of course, Earnhardt and Jarrett, several of those have come into the pits. That's just before they came into the pits. Some more are coming into the pits this time around, but that's the way they were running before they made their pit stops. And with 125 miles to go, 50 laps, actually will be less than that. When we get to green flag racing, they should have no problem in going the rest of the way as far as fuel is concerned. In fact, Earnhardt and Jarrett only took home fuel.
And actually, Jarrett is in front of Earnhardt. He beat him out of the pits, so Jarrett is in front of Earnhardt right now.
And of interest is that Sterling Marlin, as they line up, get set to go again, will start second. Sterling Marlin just 30 laps after sailing off turn 4 in that wild ride. Here is how not to come on pit road.
Well, that's Ernie Irvin trying to get his car back to the pits, not knowing exactly how much damage is done, but he knew when he got to the pits and he couldn't steer the car away from the inside wall. He knew that it was over then for the
Probably
day.
No brakes. Bad control arms, all beaten up. Bad day for Ernie Irvin. Here's Mike Joy.
Jimmy Makar is one of the happiest guys on pit road right this minute. They were going to stop with an Ernie Irvin and might have been in that wreck, but engine builder Rick Wetzel said would be a couple laps shy on fuel. So you just came in, got fuel only, and beat Dale Earnhardt out of the pits. Quite a job.
Yeah, the guys did a real good job. I tell you, we were a little rusty right off the get-go here on pit stops, but we worked real hard. The guys got pumped up, and I think they're seeing our chances get real close to win the Daytona 500, and that's what everybody works real hard over the winter for. So we're sort of in the position we want to be in right now. We're up front. We're full of fuel. We can make it all the way. Like you said, we're really feeling bad a few laps ago because we're a lap or two shy of being able to come in with Ernie and make it the rest of the way, but good Lord must have been smiling on us not to have been able to do that.
Plus, you look pretty happy to see Kyle Petty and some of those other cars getting tires when you just got fuel.
Yeah, that's true. I'm hoping we made the right choice. The car's working real good right now, and you take a chance with new tires of having a set of tires doesn't work quite as good, so we're hoping we're in good shape right now.
Well, we're about to find out.
Well, we have one anxious parent up here sitting to our left. We've got another anxious parent watching as well. You know that lady?
Oh, yeah, I've seen her a time or two, Martha. Now, I'll tell you about her. Yeah, happy Valentine's Day, Martha. Haven't had a chance to say that to you. But the way she likes to sit in the pits to watch him race, she wants me to pull that van right up so she can see one spot on the racetrack only. She don't want to watch the race from all around. She could have gone in the CBS suite today, but no, she chose not to do that. She wants to see him come by just each lap and listen to it.
That's what Linda Petty used to do.
Yeah.
Sit in the infield, listen on the radio, and be close by, kind of near the infield care center, near the garage area. Did she do that when you were racing?
No, she scored quite a bit back then.
Well, here's her son having a whale of a run in this 35th annual Daytona 500. Welcome aboard if you're just joining us here on CBS. Ned Jarrett, Neil Bonded alongside. I'm Ken Squire. Chris Economaki here, David Hobbs, Mike Joy. Delighted to bring you this great race. Here's David.
Well, down here in the pits, of course, the big talk is Jeff Gordon. Led the first lap of his first Daytona 500, a 21-year-old rookie. Then he started to fade from the picture a bit, and unfortunately, the reason was he ran into a tire on pit lane and bent that vital front air dam on his car. Well, they straightened it out. He's got back in the thick of things, and when the green flag drops, hopefully for the last time here today, he's going to be right in that lead car draft. Back to you, Ken, and let's watch that kid come through.
As they come down on the start, Derek Cope, number 66, will be up in front. Sterling Marlin second. Hunt Strickland's there in third. Brett Bodine fourth. Unser fifth. Michael Waltrip sixth. Dale is in seventh. That's Dale Jarrett. Dale, as in Earnhardt, is eighth. Rusty Wallace ninth. Morgan Shepherd 10th. Blake Speed 11th. Musgrave is 12th. Wally Dallenbach 13th. And Rick Mast is back to 14th with Gordon now in 15th.
Now, there were a number of drivers that didn't pit. They had pitted on that last caution. They could go the rest of the way, so that put Earnhardt and Jarrett back a little farther back in the pack.
16th is Brett Bodine. Terry Labonte is running 17th. Kyle is in 18th. Kyle Petty. Mark Martin 19th. Schrader 20th. Darrell Waltrip 21st. Spencer 22nd.
Now look how boxed up these cars, where the lap car of Harry Gant running down on the inside of Derek Cope. He's able to stay with him, and it's got everybody boxed up behind back there. They just don't have anywhere to go.
Well, this is when they really got to be careful. We got a lot of the fast cars in the middle of this traffic. They got to weed their way through, but they got to get there as quick as possible.
Jeff Bodine has just jumped into 22nd. Jimmy Spencer dropped back to 23rd. Bobby Labonte in 24th. And there are 24 cars in that lead group as we get down to decide the 500. 154 of 200 laps complete.
Boy, this is just what these car owners don't like to see these drivers doing, and some of these dads don't like to see this big traffic jam right here. It's going to take a while to get it thinned out. There's Earnhardt. Jarrett's already moved to the inside. Earnhardt's trying to get in there with him, see if they can work together.
But boy, those cars still running side by side up in front of them. There's just nowhere to go.
Just in front of them is Ricky Rudd, some 23 laps down. He had trouble early.
Looks like the 42 car and the 25 are laying back some. You see them just back behind this pack of cars. Looks like they're waiting for it to sort out.
Kyle Petty and Schrader in the back of this. They may be playing their cards a little closer here, not wanting to get too involved as these cars have run quite a distance today. Now dropping to the inside.
Ricky Rudd just dropped out of the way. He's many laps down. He said, I'm not going to mess up anybody that has any shot at winning this race.
There's Earnhardt on the outside around Unser. Unser in the middle in the white car.
Brave move. There's still 3 abreast as they come out through here. Brett Bodine, that's Bobby Hillin down the inside. There is trouble.
Bobby Hillin and Unser get together, sliding through the grass in the infield. Unser's car back on the track. He gets it back down again.
Kyle Petty is going to stop it.
Kyle Petty gets collected.
Kyle tried his best to get stopped. He kept watching that car come back up in front of him and thinking that it would stop, and he just ran right into it.
Ned, I'm not so sure they wasn't laying back, but what do? He did everything he possibly could and just nowhere to go.
The pole sitter, Kyle Petty, finds that Bobby Hillin car after it spun. He had whoaled that thing every way he could, ran out of room. The incident started in turn 4. It has ended all the way down through the tri-oval. Kyle clambering out.
Boy, I hate to see his car's coming back at pretty good speed. And we got these drivers out on the track with some liquid out here.
Well, Derek Cope was trying to keep Harry Gant a lap down. And,
$1 million was a possibility.
He could have won this race.
Bobby Hillin trying to explain, I think.
I don't think Kyle likes what went on there. But he said, hey, it's over with now. There's nothing we can do about it. Let's don't even talk about it right now. Let's cool off.
You're exactly right. These guys are out there running as hard as they can run. What they don't need to do is even get together. It's hard to control your
tempers. Trying to keep them apart.
And that's surprising that Bobby Hillin, he's a real mild-mannered individual, but he's very upset too. So I don't know what, apparently he feels that the things went against him. Certainly it went against him because his car is down there crashed, but maybe that he had some help in getting crashed.
What you've got to keep in the back of your mind, no matter what happened on this racetrack, both of these guys had a position to win today, were positioned to possibly win the Daytona 500. It doesn't matter whose fault, whatever, or nobody's fault. Still, you're going to be upset. The best thing to do is calm down. I'm saying it, and I used to be the world's worst. So.
I think he's trying to get away. I don't think he wants to talk to anybody and find out what really happened here. And Bobby Hillin, a victim of this crash that happened long before Kyle Petty came on the scene. We'll try to find out what was said between those two. Take a look at what happened here. This is where it all began.
Okay, the light green car of Hillin's down on the inside, and there's Al Unser Jr. went up and clipped Dale Earnhardt and then back down into Hillin, and there they crash together, slide across the grassed area, and then Hillin goes back up onto the racetrack as he comes off the grass. We'll see him.
Unser goes up first.
Well, Unser does go up first, and then here's Hillin going up. Unser gets back down on the grass, and here comes Kyle. He's trying to slow down, doesn't know which way to go. He's got the brakes locked, the car wouldn't cut, and slammed right into him.
And he had a man on the inside of him. He didn't have any place to go, but there was nothing that Hillin could do, not thing one.
Well, here we come again, Neil.
Coming off the fourth turn there, we see Unser move up. They clipped. Unser comes back, gets Hillin with him when he goes. Boy, 30 car just barely missed him. You see Hillin's got the hood up over the windshield. He can't see where he's going. Unser comes out. He's actually driving the car. He's got a little bit of drivability. Comes across.
Mike Joy.
Al Unser walking along back to the garage here. First of all, you're okay?
Yeah, we're okay.
You look like you're in a good shot to win the 500 when that happened. What went on there?
Well, Dale did me on the outside going into 3, and then he got caught up in the gray, and I was able to get back by him coming off of 4, and then coming off of turn 4, he got my right rear corner panel, turned me sideways, and then that was that. I was bouncing in between cars then.
I'm glad you're okay. Will you be back?
Oh, yeah, we had a good time, and, we were just doing real well for Valvoline and Hendricks Motorsports, and we had a shot at it there at the end, but, there's just too many people coming off of 4, and they just started banging each other.
IndyCar racing is close racing. How's it compare to this?
They run a lot closer here because the wheels are covered and gives the guys a lot of confidence, but...
maybe too much sometimes?
A little bit too much, yep.
Thanks, Al.
Can't wait to see that guy back here another time.
Here
What
it
a
is
show he
again.
put on.
There's Bobby Hillen in the green-colored car, or aqua-colored car, down on the inside. But Unser and Earnhardt get together. That's what caused the whole thing. I don't quite understand why the verbiage between Kyle and Bobby Hillen, because they didn't really have that much to do with it. They were victims of circumstances.
I think it's just frustration, more so than being mad at one or the other. Kyle might have said something then that kind of got Hillen's attention, but I think it was just sheer frustration.
Here's Mike.
Fellas, the cars were sliding toward us on pit road as they came to a halt. Kyle Petty had his car locked down, and he was very nearly stopped of the accident. As Hillen's car slid through the grass, it was clear he was still driving it. He was fighting for control, got it turned around, and thought he was going straight when it spun back up, came up the racetrack. And I think instead of locking the car down, bringing it to a stop, he tried to swing it around again, and it came up right up into Kyle Petty's safety lane at that point. It's an accident that, if either driver had done anything differently, would have been avoided.
Well, there you see Kyle back in the Cebettis hauler, and I think that's Ernie Irvin in there with him. Here's Bobby Hillen with some of his crew. We are at, trying to check our laps here.
160 laps have been complete. 40 to go. 100 miles to go in this race. And Ken, we're down from not long ago. We had 28 cars in the lead lap. Now we have 21.
I hope people see this, don't say, "Oh, well, these drivers." But let me tell you, if you do this for a living and you don't get excited when something happens, you don't need to be driving one of these things.
Bobby Hillen is making his way toward Chris Economaki right now. We'll try to give you more on this story. There you see the end of the Donlevy car after it had had a great run here today. Fourth straight year that the pole sitter has failed to finish the Daytona 500 as it bites Kyle Petty today. Meanwhile, Rick Wilson is back out here looking a little sore and sullen, but 44 still rolling. Here's Chris Economaki.
Oh, we're here, Bobby Hillen. You look like you're upset. What's the reason?
Well, I'm very upset. I'm trying to keep my composure. It's so hard in times like this, you know. We had a very strong car. I don't know what happened. They just all got sideways and came across in front of me, and everybody got on it. And then I lost my brakes going through the grass. I had no idea where I was sliding, and Kyle jumped all over me, thinking I let off the brakes. But that's just the way it is. We're all upset right now. We'll all get over it. I'm just thankful that we've got a great company like Holly Myers. They're supporting us 100%. This is their first time in racing, and we thought we had a good shot at it.
Bobby, we got up on the screen. I know it's very hard to see here with the sun shining on the screen. Maybe you can see exactly what happened. What were the words exchanged between you and Kyle?
Well, I just told him I had my foot on the brakes once I was sliding through the grass. There was nothing I could do, and we're just both upset right now. It's understandable. It's just hard to keep your composure when you think you have a chance to win the biggest race of the year. I just thought it was so close.
But Bobby, you know why it happened?
Say that again?
Why did it happen, the accident?
Well, there's only a few laps to go, and we're all racing for the win, and there's guys up there that haven't been up there that long and racing with these kind of cars, and everybody's fighting hard. It's just one of those things.
Okay, thank you, Bobby. Let's go to David Hobbs now.
Well, I just had a word with Kyle Petty. I ducked pretty much, and he just said, don't even bother to wait. There must be a crowd of 200 reporters out here. He said, don't even bother to wait, because he said, I'm not going to say anything, because if I say it, I'm going to regret it like hell tomorrow morning, so you might as well just all go away, because I'm not saying anything right now. And you can understand why. Pole position and really looking strong today. What a shame.
$1 million, too, going down the window.
Big bonus for Kyle Petty from Felix Cebettis if he'd been able to pull it off. Not to be. All right, getting set for green. Next time by the Mrs. Gossage down there, the PR lady.
He didn't come out and talk right now. He was still quite upset that he, in essence, was afraid he might say something that he would regret tomorrow. So his best way is just to not say anything at all. Okay? Sorry.
I agree with you.
I can't answer that one until he calms down.
So that's the story. There's no story as far as Kyle is concerned at this time. Come back tomorrow. And I think you're right, Ned. You're out there running 190 miles an hour. You got your life in your hands, and then something like this happens. Fortunately, everybody walked away. That's the best news of all.
Well, that is good news. Still a tremendous race to go here, Neil.
What's unique about this sport, in most major league sports, when there's something like that happens, the drivers or the participants aren't accessible. And to be able to get on those guys that quick and want them to answer questions, the thing to do is sit down, cool off, and not say the wrong thing. I hate to see it happen. Both of them had a shot at winning this race, but it's just a part of the racing.
That PR person, Jane Gossage, has been around racing for a long time, and I'm sure she was in there saying you're best to stay in here at the present time. All right, we're getting set to go back under green. Running order after 161. Cope in front. Wouldn't that be something if he won his second 500? I mean, you talk about a dark horse in this race. They came down here with no sponsor. Most people felt they'd have problems even qualifying. They put it together. They got themselves in the race, and they're leading as they come to the line with Sterling Marlin in second, Strickland third, Dale Jarrett in fourth, Brett Bodine in fifth, Rusty Wallace sixth, Earnhardt back in seventh, Michael Waltrip eighth, Morgan Shepherd ninth, Musgrave 10th, Wally Dolan back 11th, Jeff Gordon 12th, Mark Martin 13th on the start.
And one thing that caused that wreck to happen back there, we kept talking about those cars up front running side by side as they're doing there right now. Those cars kept getting boxed up back there, nowhere to go. Everybody kept jockeying around for position. That's what caused the wreck. Here we are again, side by side.
Ned, we got the same set of circumstances. Hopefully these guys can work their way to the front. That's got a shot to win this thing and just see what happens. I do think we'll see a little more caution coming up through there than we did before. Maybe they can weed their way through it.
Down on the inside, you see the lap car of Harry Gant, number 33. He is running 22nd, running one lap down from those leaders stacked up on the outside. All the lead cars are on that outside lane as they resume racing. So far, everybody's minding their manners.
Okay, Derek Cope has broken away from Gant. Gant backed off a little bit going into the turn. That's what they needed, was to get out in single file. That's what the lead cars needed. So Derek Cope now out in front all by himself there.
165 laps complete. Strickland the third for the Junior Johnson team, and there you see that number 8 that took that wild ride 4.5 feet off the ground. Here comes Earnhardt to the inside on Rusty Wallace in the 2. No room, Gant still there. Sliding out of that fourth turn area. Dicey racing.
Dale Jarrett moving up on the outside, or trying to, of Sterling Marlin. That's not Sterling Marlin, that's Hutch Strickland. Hey, they're going 3 abreast into that turn.
But Strickland made the move, Ned. He cleared him getting down in the corner.
And he made a good move, got himself a pretty decent lead there. He had a good run off that turn.
Here you see Strickland going for the lead.
Look at
Michael Waltrip bombing up through down the back straightaway, taking
and Earnhardt right in the middle of going 3 abreast in the middle.
Who says you can't run in the middle, Ned?
Man.
Right here's where we had a problem off the corner. They cleared him that time. Waltrip jumps in behind Earnhardt.
It looks like the outside is the place to be right now.
Marlin down to the bottom. Here's Earnhardt back in third. Michael Waltrip. Desperate situation for him. They had a very bad year last year. Lost a lot of cars. Lost a car yesterday in the 300. He feels he has to win, has to finish well today.
There's Earnhardt by himself on the inside. See if he can work that outside line. That big line on the outside should be able to hold him off.
Those top 3, with the exception of Earnhardt, in different cars from a year ago.
Now Michael Waltrip he started to come down there and help Earnhardt. Here comes Rusty Wallace up on the outside of Michael.
And look at Earnhardt. Just take it down to the inside, hold it there, and press for the lead. Strickland on the outside, Earnhardt on the inside.
Looks like the line, looked like the start of the race again. Here we go, there's Waltrip taking a look inside Earnhardt.
They decided that's not the smart thing to do.
Long shadows down here on the west end of the Speedway as you watch live the 35th running of the Daytona 500. Let's take a lap from the Goodyear blimp as the Daytona Shuffle continues for $2.5 million.
There's Earnhardt and Waltrip inside trying to move up on them.
Jarrett went 3 wide in there around the Sterling Marlin car, moved by Rusty Wallace.
Up to 5th. Jarrett, that green car. For the moment, Hutch Strickland in front. The Ford of Strickland leading the Chevrolet in second. incredible picture from the blimp as to how this field is deployed and how they shuffle at this 190-mile-per-hour speed. All of these cars fighting to win the 500.
Look at Jarrett in the green car. He jumped down the inside. It's putting him up in the third place. A while ago, we saw Jarrett and Earnhardt were capable of pull away a little bit. They're trying.
Trouble behind Rusty Wallace is turning over.
Rusty Wallace, 20 feet in the air, spinning, crashing.
Well, I'll tell you, when they're running that close together and jockeying around position, you just know that things like this are going to happen. And a very unfortunate situation for Rusty Wallace.
Racing
here,
back to the line.
to the flag as Dale Jarrett moves around the Hutch Strickland car.
At the stripe.
You know, you almost feel like you're just sitting there waiting for it to happen with that big pack of cars. Unfortunately, we've seen it a couple of times. Hopefully, Rusty's okay here.
Pontiac number 2, totally destroyed, at least 10 times over.
Is he moving in there?
I believe he is, Neil. That looks like some movement by Rusty in there. Let's hope to the Lord it is.
Yeah, he's taking his helmet off, it looks like.
89 Winston Cup champion, Rusty Wallace.
Had a great run going here today.
Safety crews on it and in it just as soon as the field moved by.
Yeah, that car had hardly stopped rolling until one safety member was right there.
Crew chief has called in and has said that Rusty Wallace says, I'm okay.
Well, that's great news.
Thank goodness. I tell you, it attests to these cars. We say it over and over again. But when something, we see what happened with Davey in this. Here we go. Let's see what happened on this thing. There's Jarrett. He gets in the line. The 66 car right behind Waltrip. Looked like they tapped. They touched right there, the 66. And then Rusty, he gets clipped right there, turns sideways, and we know what happened after that. The air gets out of the car. Yeah, it looked like the 66 and the 30. Look at Rusty's car, how high in the air. Real violent flips right here. Boy.
Wow, similar to Darrell Waltrip here in the 400-miler in July a couple of years ago. There it is again.
Another angle. Looks like Derek Cope was involved.
Yeah, he clipped the 30 car of Michael Waltrip. They got together.
And as you watch that, it reminds me a bit of the late Connie Saylor, who passed away just a week ago. Remember when he sailed down the backstretch, Ned? What a great racer he was, and died of cancer this past week. But he had an incident similar, except he went the whole backstretch upside down. Connie greatly missed here.
Let's see, there's the 30 car. It's hard to tell. They were so close together. Anyway, the 30 and the 66 go over, tag Rusty. Watch the car. The minute the air gets under, inverted wing up in the air.
You know, I think from the blimp we may get it. I think that is where you're going to see it. Look at this Wallace car just disintegrating. As it settled, he said, I'm okay.
And the roll cage held up in that car.
Yeah, he got tagged. You can see it from the blimp. The 66 coming across on the 30. It catches the number 2. Frightening crash.
Yeah, and they said the minute the car stopped, Rusty hollered, I'm okay. So he knew he needed to call those guys.
He's walked to the ambulance.
We're in Jeff Bodine's car now as he goes through there. He said, I got by that one, accepting that a big piece of debris off of Wallace's car hit him right in the top of the windshield.
Looked like the front windshield out of Rusty's car went right over Bodine. Turns him to junk in a hurry, doesn't it?
And again, remarkably, they walk away.
From a rocket ship.
There he was, walking to the ambulance. The 1989 Winston Cup champion, Rusty Wallace, walks away from the remains of that car. Unbelievable. Back in a moment.
Mark and my relationship goes way past business. I'm sure in a previous life he and I were twin brothers. Throughout the race, the driver and crew chief communicate. The driver complains about the car or brags about the car. It's the crew chief's job on pit stops to make whatever fixes he can to help the driver's predicament. Everyone has about the same access to equipment and technology, but the people who rub on it the most and think the most of it and think about it the most will end up winning the race.
We know we see all the men you have to be, just how much you give, all the lives you live, we'll be there. We understand all it means to be a
sensor technology revolutionized shaving. Now we're introducing the Gillette series, a line of high-performance shaving, aftershave, and deodorant products with an exhilarating new fragrance to help every man look, feel, and be his best.
So you're the best you can be for all the world to see. Gillette, the best a man can get.
The Gillette series, together with Gillette Sensor, it's redefining men's grooming.
You start it every morning. Start after start after start. When most of your oil is still down in a pad, you start metal-to-metal contact. You start engine wear. Now help stop it with the latest breakthrough from STP. Engine treatment. It bonds right to engine parts. Independent tests proved it. Just add a quart at your next oil change and help stop engine wear before you start with STP engine treatment.
This Daytona 500 race summary is sponsored by STP, The Edge.
The race summary after 425 miles showed 13 different leaders. Remember, the record is 15, and there have been 35 lead changes. We're getting up toward, well, it's still some distance there. The 60 is the record. Average speed down to 153, and cautions have now amounted to 29 laps, 7 occasions they've thrown the yellow. Here are the cars officially out of the race. Dick Trickle lost an engine early. Jimmy Hensley and the Jimmy Means car crashed. Elliott's car retired. Ruttman with an engine. Then we had Ernie Irvin losing his car. Bobby Hillen's car out with Unser and that crash, and Petty getting collected in it. And now, just a moment ago, Rusty Wallace in this horrendous crash in the back straightaway that we think has also taken Derek Hope. We're waiting for more word on that the 66 may not come around. We understand that is back in the garage area. But there are the remains of car number 2, brand new Pontiac car for this race. Rusty had a similar crash back in the early 80s in a 125-mile qualifying race, but I don't think it was quite as violent as that. It was a pretty good flip, but
it was
not like that.
Yes, it was a very violent crash.
Let's take another look at Jeff Bodine's pictures and think about the speed. This is at normal speed here. It's just how fast is that car in front of him, the Wallace car, disintegrates for the Wallace windshield to come back and slam into that 15. Watch this. I think that was a quarter of a second. I mean,
it was less than a half a second for that, from the time that piece came off of Rusty's car to get to Jeff Bodine.
Well, as we get back, 172 complete, and you'll have Earnhardt in first, Dale Jarrett in second, Hut Strickland in third, Sterling Marlin fourth. Jeff Gordon will be in fifth. Here comes the pace car in. 6 is Shepard. Here is Mike Joy.
Of the cars on the lead lap, Mike Waltrip was in the wreck. He made a pit stop, came back out, and Brett Bodine got a piece of debris that ruined the nose of his car. He pitted, got 4 tires in his return.
19 cars remain in the lead lap. Running 6 is Shepard. In 5th is Gordon. A little further back, the 7th spot is Jeff Bodine. 8th is Musgrave. 9th is Dallenbach. 10th is Schrader. 11th is Martin. 12th is Lake Speed. 13th, Terry Labonte. 14th, Spencer. Then Bobby Labonte, 15th. Rick Mass. The Waltrips out in the back of this field, and they're rolling.
The two Dales are going to try to hook up together here, Ken, and try to pull away from the rest of the field. They have a lap car of Phil Parsons in between them. They pulled away from Hut Strickland on the start of the race. Now here comes Strickland down on the inside. He's not going to have anything to do with that. He said, I'm going to draft right back up there to you. And he does. Boy, he got back quickly.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. I thought when they made that break that Strickland kind of got left back there, but it didn't take one straightaway for him to reel him back in.
Chevrolet first and second. Here comes Hut Strickland in third, and here comes Gordon rolling back up in there another time with his Chevrolet.
Gordon being shown in the 5th position. In great position. Right there just drafting along.
Right behind that Sterling Marlin car. Strickland Marlin. Running 3 and 4.
There's Morgan Shepard right in behind him. They're running good. The Wood Brothers car today.
Now remember, this Sterling Marlin car, fellas, we saw it up in the air a while back. The back end up in the air, and here he is now up there in 4th position.
Spun off turn 4. It's a wonder he didn't damage it when he did that then.
25 laps to go.
Go inside Jeff Bodine's car. Ride with him And we'll simulate now. You're riding with him live, the actual feeling of the 31-degree banking.
Now they roll the camera up flat and let the car on the angle. Real good indication of what kind of banking these guys are dealing with.
31 degrees.
Jeff Gordon just went up on the outside, made it 3 abreast and moved into 4th place. He went around the Sterling Marlin car.
And that allowed the 3 and the 18 just a little time to get a better purchase on that lead.
Well, a little bit, but Hut Strickland is hanging right there with him. And look at Gordon coming on. He has a strong car now. He's running in 4th place in that multicolored car. Morgan Shepherd now has moved into the number 5 position.
It's amazing the depth in NASCAR racing to have all the crashes and all the problems we've had and still at this close to the end of 500 miles have this many cars still in contention to win.
Further back, look at this skirmish. And remember, there are 18 cars in the lead lap.
And Jarrett going for the lead.
Takes the lead going down in turn 3. There goes Hut Strickland with him. Jarrett cleared him really good, getting down in the corner. Comes Earnhardt and Gordon hooked up together back under Hut Strickland.
Down out of Calamity Corner come the leaders, and you have Dale Jarrett now in command of the 500.
Boy, Jarrett's car has been so strong working up through that traffic all along. Now he's in front of Earnhardt. We'll have to see what kind of laps they crank out, see who's pulling the cars around the quickest.
Well, evidently he felt that he could pull it a little bit faster than Earnhardt was running. They'd like to get away from those cars behind them and settle it between themselves. Now Jeff Gordon has moved up into the 3rd position. He has a strong car as well.
178 complete. First time Jarrett has led since lap 6. We'll be back to see how he fares in a moment.
What does a high-speed turn at Daytona have to do with a left turn on Elm Street? At Ford, we race more to learn more about things like safety. Because there's nothing like hugging a wall at 200 miles an hour to learn how to improve crosswind stability. Or racing in a crowd to learn about safer, more responsive handling. And what we learn in this rush hour traffic, you can use in yours. Have you driven a Ford lately?
Man, we're out here to test. Nothing but rain. Hey, where's Mario?
2 champions sharing the winning formula. Haviland Formula 3.
I hear your power is looking good for you this year. It's unbelievable. It's run pretty hot in the tight draft, though. Got that pretty well beat.
Complete professionals who rely on the same complete protection you can buy right off the shelf.
I'm wide open all the time. Hey, only way to do it.
Haviland Formula 3 motor oil from Texaco.
Quit raining, please.
Hey, I'm vain. Of course I'm vain. That's why I comb my hair the way I do. I stay in shape the way I do. That's why I use Power Stick.
50% more wetness and odor fighters per stroke. Power Stick by Fabergé. Power that won't let you down.
I told you I was vain.
Some people get nasal congestion, but if you get sinus congestion, use a sinus spray like Sinex. Only Sinex has a decongestant plus Vicks Vapors, so you can feel your swollen passages open up. For sinus, think Sinex.
You're on the set. When the lights come up and the camera starts to roll, there's no place to hide. And even one flake of dandruff, even one, can ruin it all. That's why I use Head & Shoulders. You know, it's even better than it was just a couple of years ago. Today's Head & Shoulders gets to 10 times more of the places dandruff starts. Put it to the test. Prove it to yourself. Head & Shoulders and Head & Shoulders 2-in-1. Because great hair can't have flakes.
Relive the Great American Race in this CBS Sports home video. Daytona, drama, danger, dedication. To order by credit card, call now 1-800-999-VIDEO. Daytona, drama, danger, dedication. Only $19.98 plus $3 shipping and handling.
From the lead, Dale Jarrett sinks back into 4th position. Morgan Shepherd, the 2nd place finisher just a year ago, takes over in 3rd. The rookie, Jeff Gordon, goes to 2nd. Earnhardt remains in front. Earnhardt trying to win the 500 for the first time in his career. 19 wins at Daytona, but never in this race. Crashed out of it, run out of fuel, been tagged in the final lap. leading for the moment. And the 21-year-old from Pittsburgh, Indiana, reels him in the back straightaway. Less than 20 laps to decide it all. Here's David Hobbs.
I'm with Leonard Wood, one of the famed Wood brothers, who can't remember how many Winston Cup races he's won. Could today be another one? Are you going to steal Dale Earnhardt's win again?
Well, I mean, we would love to win it, but we're just trying to survive the crashes right now. It looks like the driver's a little over anxious this year.
I think he will be over anxious today. Mike Joy.
The coach of the football Redskins, Joe Gibbs, is here in the pit of Dale Jarrett. He owns this race team. Coach, in the Super Bowl, you have input and control. Here you've got some input, but not much control over what's going on out there. What's your feeling right now?
It's a little different for me here. I'm not hands-on at all. I'm just cheering with everybody else here in the interstate pit.
Another fan, but one with a big vested interest.
You know, a while ago, when he was leading the race, Ned, he went down the corner. It looked like the car took off high on him, and they got around him. But it looked like he's trying to cope with that and try to do his best he can. It looks like he can get around him on the outside.
Well, he's running pretty steamy up there, but he can't pick up quite enough momentum to move up beside of Morgan Shepherd. That's what he's trying to do. In the 125-mile qualifying races, his car did work better on the high side of the racetrack, and apparently that's the way that it's going right now, but he just can't get the momentum to move around.
Calm and collected. Martha Jarrett looks on as her son maintains a top position, going for third once again on the outside.
Got it this time.
That's where he worked good all day the other day. Jarrett was able to go high, take the line away from him, and when he come off the corner, he's in position of trapped up.
Kyle Petty has been out trying to make some laps and pull the car back on pit road, and Derek Cope has returned to the race. Right side of that car badly bashed in. Well, here we are. 184 laps complete of 200. It's Earnhardt in front, trying for the 15th time to win the 500. 15 was a lucky number for David Pearson. 15 was a lucky number for Bobby Allison. That's when they won the 500 in their 15 tries. What about Earnhardt today? And what about this rookie in only his first try? Gordon, number 24, is back again for Hendrick Racing. Here he comes.
Three Chevrolets out front.
You know, Ned, they said earlier that Gordon hit something on pit road and messed up the spoiler on that car, the front air dam. They must have fixed it. It won't affect it so much in the draft here, but the question will be, can he lead if he jumps out there?
Jeff Gordon has said, I was racing sprint cars, and those are mean race cars. I was racing sprint cars before I had a driver's license. You learn well in those open cockpit cars, and right now he's running second. We'll be back for the finale of our live exclusive coverage of the Daytona 500 on CBS Sports after this message and a word from your local station.
Because STP increases even the best oil's viscosity by up to 50%. It's that simple.
Start a project with Minwax Wood Finish and turn new into treasured, ordinary into extraordinary, even pine into cherry. Because Minwax Wood Finish makes it easy to turn any project into a beautiful masterpiece. Minwax makes wood beautiful.
Beginning tonight. Danny Glover, Anne Margaret, Martin Sheen, Paul Winfield, Ossie Davis, Jasmine Guy, Tim Daly, and Halle Berry as Queen in the last chapter of Alex Haley's dramatic chronicle of an American family. Discover the roots of a new generation. Alex Haley's Queen.
Tuesday, a highway disaster traps a little girl and her father beneath 20 tons of sand.
I'm thinking, you're kidding. How can anyone be alive in this?
A battle for life on Rescue 911.
This is CBS.
Okay, bud, just hold your finger right there. I'll be right back with the part.
At Advance Auto Parts, our in-store inventory of over 15,000 parts is growing every day. And with our special PDQ service, in most cases, we'll get you those hard-to-find parts the same day. So what are you waiting for? Next time you need an auto part in a hurry, go to Advance.
Hi,
Hampton Roads. This is Kyle Petty, driver of the Mella Yalla Pontiac. And if you're going to NASCAR racing, go with Met Sports Tours.
See NASCAR this year with Met Sports Tours. 1-800-359-TOUR. For the March Pontiac 400 at Richmond. Just $89. Excellent chair seats, a tailgate party, and round-trip transportation. Met's also has trips to Daytona, Charlotte, Bristol, Martinsville, Darlington, and more. One call does it all. Good vibrations with Met Sports Tours. 1-800-359-TOUR.
It's always said that was the finest moment. Perhaps this equals that moment.
The Daytona 500 is sponsored by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? Goodyear, #1 in tires. Quaker State, the Big Q is one tough motor oil. And by Smooth Busch Beer and easy drinking Busch Light. Busch, the official beer of NASCAR.
11 to go. And if it stays green, we'll stay with it right through to the finish for you. In this, one of the most exciting Daytona 500s in history. At this moment, Dale Earnhardt is leading. Right behind him is the rookie, Jeff Gordon. And then you see in third, Dale Jarrett. And the 86 champion, Jeff Bodine, has pulled himself right back into this race in fourth. Hut Strickland is in fifth. Running 6 is Sterling Marlin. 7th is Shepard. 8th is Mark Martin. 9th is Schrader. 10th is Wally Dallenbach. 11th is Mast. 12th, Labonte. 13th, Lake Speed. 14th, Jimmy Spencer. But it's right here on the nose.
Jeff Bodine and Dale Jarrett ran side by side for about 2 laps, Ken, and that allowed Dale Earnhardt and Jeff Gordon to pull away a little bit. Now Jarrett has broken away from Jeff Bodine and is about to catch the front 2 back again.
Final 10-lap countdown coming up. Pittsburgh, Indiana's Jeff Gordon looks over Earnhardt inside and outside. Ray Evernham, his crew chief, has great faith. I guess everyone's going to have great faith in this kid after what we've seen today out of this 745-pounder. Out of that was the leader. 10 to go on 3 occasions, and it didn't happen. Not big in physical stature, this kid in second, but becoming a giant here at Daytona this afternoon. And Jarrett lies there in third. Do you think that car has more? Do you think that car has more, that 18 car?
Well, I think he's driving his heart out. I think he's giving it all that it has right now, Ken, if he just gets himself in the right position. Let's go to the pits and Mike Joy.
Well, look what's on TV here at the Hendrick house. Rick, what'd your wife give you for Valentine's Day here?
We got 4 TVs and we put them in each pit, and I couldn't run up and down this pit road all day, so I get to watch a little TV while they're racing.
That's because he's got 4 cars in the race. If 21-year-old Jeff Gordon, in only his second Winston Cup start, can win racing's biggest prize, is everybody else here going to start to feel real old?
Well, you know, when I met Jeff and looked at him, and he was about the age of my daughter, it really kind of dawned on me how young he really is. But he's done a heck of a job. If we finish second to Earnhardt, I'm still awful proud of him. You know, he's done a heck of a job today. The whole crew has.
Let's see how it goes.
Thank you.
Hendrick won the 89 500, the Waltrip in 86. Hendrick won with Bodine. Earnhardt for Richard Childress. The lap countdown continues. There you see Jarrett throwing that car down onto that first turn area, the west end of the speedway.
Earnhardt has led 100 laps of this race, Ken. That's half of it.
I was wondering earlier, Jarrett's car, we couldn't see him keep it low. That time he stayed lower than the other guys. I don't know that he's not playing around, trying it high, trying it low. He's ran them down from way back several times. He might have a little bit more than they've got.
Well, he's going to try that high groove once again. He wants that to work. He tried it up there for a while, and it just wouldn't work. Now he's trying it again.
Ned, how many times did you try to win this 500?
Well, let's see. I don't know. I didn't race in the first one in 59, but I did 60 through 66, so that would have been, what, 6 years, I guess. Third was the best.
Third was the best.
Yeah, finished 5th in 65.
And this was always a ticklish track for you. Well, you had 50 wins, but this was always a ticklish situation running down here.
Yeah, I guess you could say that super speedway racing was not really my forte. That has been somewhat of a surprise with Dale, that he does so well on the super speedways when I didn't.
Ever time we see a group of cars, I keep saying, well, 2 or 3 of them are going to break away. They'll string it out. All of a sudden, here comes a pack coming back. And they'll break away, and here comes a pack. This entire group of cars here can possibly close it up. We've got like 6 laps to go, and these guys can still, any of these top 5 or 6 have got a really legitimate shot at it.
You can see on the front of Jeff Bodine's car, he has some damage on his car there, which is hurting it aerodynamically. I tell you, he's doing a great job of staying up there with those front runners, with that car not driving as well as it would have a little bit earlier.
There you see the top 4. Back to Bodine. Right behind him, Hut Strickland in 5th. A little further back, Schrader is in 6th, maybe 3 car lengths. There's Schrader. Following him is Morgan Shepherd. He is in 7th, second place finisher a year back. Then Mark Martin. Up to 8th is Mark. Right behind him, Sterling Marlin. 5 to go this time by. Well, do you think your old hunting compadre is going to finally win this race?
Let me tell you what, I was legitimately saying 6 guys got a chance to win this race a while ago. We've got 5 laps to go. Anything can happen. Once somebody makes that break, it's going to scramble, and I'm not so sure it'll happen on the last lap. I'm not so sure somebody might go something out of the ordinary trying to do it before the white flag.
They all want to win the big one, and they'll do whatever they think they have to do to win it.
The last lap around was right at 190 miles an hour, so they're not playing. They're cranking them up, and this is on old tires.
Jarrett goes to the outside, begins to look on the high side.
Those cars are pretty equal right now, it looks like.
4 laps to go.
They're trying to pull away a little bit now from Jeff Bodine to get him out of the picture on that last lap if they possibly can, Neil. I think that's one reason that Dale Jarrett is following right on the back bumper of the others, is to try to take him out of the picture. And I'm going to tell you what Dale Jarrett's going to be thinking. If they get Jeff Bodine out of the picture, what he would like to do as they come around to get the white flag is to help Jeff Gordon draft up even with Earnhardt, and then try to get a run off of him going down the backstretch on the last.
Make it 3 wide.
Yeah,
Take the shot.
That's what he would like to do. But you know, sometimes circumstances just don't let that happen.
I tell you what, it's a pretty good game of high-speed chess, and that's what it amounts to: positioning, placing yourself, and then pull the trigger at 190 miles an hour.
Now Earnhardt's car looked a little unstable that time out of 4, Neil, when he came off that. And you noticed on the 15 car that car is showing a little aerodynamic rumple on Bodine's car just behind up on the right side.
He does have a problem on the right front of that car, so that's why I say it's amazing that he's been able to stay up there with them, with that car not aerodynamically perfect. And you know, he's not out of it. He's still right there.
From this platform, you're riding, watching those top 3 cars. There you see them down the back straightaway into 3.
There's Jarrett. He's looking at that high line again. He wants to get a good run off of this corner. The other 2 cars are nose to tail. Gordon took a look to the inside then.
He's going to try looking again. Here comes Jarrett dipping to the outside as Gordon went to the inside.
Looks like he's going to clear him, getting down in the corner.
Into 1, Jarrett on the move.
Come on, Martha. He's going to be okay, dear.
Ned, she's quit looking now.
Yeah.
Down for the finish. A couple to go. Again, Earnhardt looking unstable coming off the corner. You could see the tail switch, and he just gathers it up like the master he is.
Jarrett wants to push him hard into this turn. He wants to push him hard in there. If his car's getting loose, he wants to loosen it up even more.
The closer he can get the bumper to the back of Dale Earnhardt's car, the looser Dale will get. There he comes. It looks like he's driving up under him. Earnhardt's car got loose and slid up the racetrack.
Dale Jarrett seeking in. They touch. They come back to the line.
White flag.
White flag and 1 lap to go. Earnhardt coming back on the outside. Bodine gets into it. Strickland gets into it. This is the finish.
Did we say 5 cars had a shot at it? Get ready, because it's coming to the wire. There's Jarrett in front.
Jarrett pulling back in front. Bodine comes down to the inside. Jeff Bodine, the 86 champion, trying to find some room.
Come on, Dale. Go, baby, go. All right, come on. I know he's got it to the floorboard. He can't do any more. Come on, take her to the inside. Don't let him get on the inside of you coming around this turn. Here he comes, Earnhardt. It's the Dale and Dale show. It's become off of turn 4. You know who I'm pulling for. It's Dale Jarrett. Bring her to the inside, Dale. Don't let him get down there. He's got to make Dale Jarrett's going to win the Daytona 500. All right. Oh, look at Martha. Oh, dear. Oh, can you believe it?
Way to go.
Oh,
Hey.
man. Did I teach him to drive that race car? Oh, man.
You think she'll get out of the van, or you going to go get her out, Ned?
Oh, that poor girl, she needs help.
Happy Valentine's Day, Mrs. Jarrett.
How many people get to participate in 2 Super Bowls? There he goes. He's won the Super Bowl of stock car racing, Joe Gibbs.
36-year-old Dale Jarrett.
And Martha was not at his first win. When he won in Michigan in 1991, she wasn't there.
Winning his second Winston Cup race. Winning the biggest race of the year. Winning the Great American Race. Dale Jarrett from Hickory, North Carolina, headed for Victory Lane, where you will meet him in a moment.
Here's one way to make your all-purpose vehicle a true all-terrain vehicle. Here's another, the Goodyear Wrangler GSA with triple traction. It's like getting 3 tires in one. You get an area for quiet highway traction, for wet weather traction, and for rugged off-road traction from Goodyear. Wherever you drive, on the road, off the road, down the highways, wet or dry, get the tire that's like 3 tires in one. Wrangler GSA, only from Goodyear. You'll know why we like to say the best tires in the world have Goodyear written all over them.
Burt Reynolds talks with the Quaker State team.
Hold on. I got to get my name on the car. My fans are getting restless.
No room.
How about on the Big Q?
The Big Q stands alone. Stands for quality.
You can't get better protection.
No other oil beats Quaker State.
How about right here?
No way. Red doesn't like to be crowded.
My fans are getting demanding.
All right. We'll go get the painter.
I must have had a hard time finding the painter. Nothing beats Quaker State. It's one tough motor oil.
What makes a mountain man a mountain man? Let's find out. Must a mountain man be a big burly guy with an axe? A man of steel? Must a mountain man even be a man? Actually, the only requirement is the right beer. Smooth Busch beer or easy drinking Busch Light. So, head for the mountains and learn what makes the typical mountain man anything but.
Why do I choose Alka-Seltzer Plus over the leading cold pill?
They only relieve congestion, but Alka-Seltzer Plus is so tough it relieves sore throats, sneezing, headaches, even body aches.
That's why I choose Alka-Seltzer Plus.
Alka-Seltzer Plus. It's tough medicine.
I feel Danorex tingling on this side, nothing on the head and shoulder side. I love that tingle, so I tried Danorex for my dandruff. It really came through. The flaking stopped, my scalp doesn't itch.
Danorex with conditioners, the serious dandruff shampoo.
I've switched to Danorex.
A year ago, they dazzled the world. Now take a look back at Albertville's unforgettable Olympic figure skating performances. Olympic Winterfest next Saturday.
Joe Gibbs walking to Victory Lane at Daytona. He's used to hearing "Hail to the Redskins." "Hail to 18" would be appropriate here. Chris Economaki standing by with the Daytona champion, Dale Jarrett.
Okay, here he is getting his red hat on. Come on out, Dale. Here he is, the surprise winner. What a fabulous straight, and look at the celebration. Congratulations, Dale. About that last lap, how long did you plot that?
Well, I was just trying to find out where I could really get a run on those guys, and it seemed like 3 and 4 was a good place for me to really get a run. I found out that I could get around Jeff on the outside there and did that. And Dale just slid up high down there. It looked like his car got a little bit loose getting in the corner, and that let me get on the bottom. I had a run.
We got a headset here for you to talk to your dad. There you go. Take it away, Ned.
Super job there, Dale. I tell you, I'm really proud of you. You did just exactly what you had to do, like I told you, right?
That's right, exactly like you told me all along, Dad. Thanks for everything. I appreciate it. This is a great day.
Well, I tell you, your mama was watching, and you can't believe the way she broke down when this race was over. Of course, we had to expect that. Proud of you, son.
You came so close back, I believe it was in 63 when you ran out of fuel. I thought we'd get this one for the whole family.
All right, you did great for us.
Thanks.
Dale, you know, your mother was praying for the last 15 laps. It was the longest prayer I ever heard anybody say. Did you have any frights during the day?
I was close to a couple of things, but most times stayed out of trouble. Everything seemed to happen behind me most of the day, and I think everybody did a good job out there. I had such a good car, I could just kind of bide my time. Jimmy Maycar did a great job, and we just want to thank the Lord for a safe race. I know Rusty's okay now, and he's the one that brought this home for us.
That's great. Congratulations again on a great victory, Dale Jarrett.
Thanks a lot.
And we'll be back with more of the Daytona 500 after these messages.
Quality motor oil can go a long way toward protecting against engine wear. But by adding STP oil treatment, it can go even further because STP increases even the best oil's viscosity by up to 50%. It's that simple.
Craftsman Motorsports. All-Pro quarterback Dan Marino.
When the game is over and the pain starts, I want two things from my pain-relieving rub: fast relief and no odor. So I use Sports Cream, a strong pain-relieving rub that doesn't make me smell like a medicine chest. I just massage in Sports Cream for fast, odor-free relief. Cream or lotion, Sports Cream sure gets my vote for fast relief and no odor.
Introducing something very, very fast. It can take you from 0 to 3,500. The new Ford Citibank Visa card. You get the security of a Citibank Visa, and 5% of everything you purchase goes towards a new Ford or Lincoln or Mercury. You could earn a rebate of up to $3,500 2 years faster than any other basic auto rebate card. The new Ford Citibank Visa. Now this is a better idea.
Over the years, I've been pretty tough on cars, but hey, man, I wasn't paid to be gentle. Nowadays, I got a little bit different attitude. I own these babies. You know, the better we take care of our equipment, the longer it lasts. And we always use STP products and have for the last 25 or 30 years. Maintenance, preventive maintenance is what it's all about. The problem is, some crazy kid always wants to drive them.
This Daytona 500 race summary is sponsored by STP, The Edge.
38 lead changes among 13 drivers in this 35th annual Daytona 500. Dale Earnhardt led 11 times for 107 laps, but again, the final lap was the one that he missed. David Hobbs is standing by with the best Valentine's present a mother could get. Mrs. Jarrett is standing by down there now.
Martha, Ned's wife, Dale's mum, what a Valentine's Day for you.
Thank you. It was quite exciting for us. I knew he could do it, but I just didn't know when. But I'm so proud of him. It was a great job he did.
Quite excited, she says. She's shaking like a leaf, and she was crying when we arrived. She's desperate to get to her son, Dale. But what a day. And, of course, you're coming up to your wedding anniversary, too, just next week. What a week.
That's right. It's a great anniversary present.
You're sitting right opposite the start-finish line. Could you watch that finish, or did you have your eyes closed?
I'm not sure. I just heard him say he had won it, and I didn't know. I didn't watch. I'll watch it on tape.
Well, I know you're very anxious to get to Dale, so we'll go back to Ken upstairs, and you can go and see Dale. Thanks.
We'll give you the final results. A look at the field that ran the 35th Daytona 500 after these messages.
Son of a gun protectant. Nothing works better on your car's leather, vinyl, and rubber. It can turn just about anything into a great-looking car.
Nice car. What, this pile of junk?
Give it the gun with Son of a Gun. And now give your tires a quick kick with one-step tire care.
Why use Valvoline motor oil? For their race cars and their own cars, Valvoline is the #1 choice of race mechanics from Indy 500 to Daytona 500 to to NHRA, to Baja, to SCCA.
What are you doing?
Pouring on A1.
Before? Think it'll taste different after? Because before you did it after.
Try it. Before you eat it all.
Oh, after you.
A1. It's how steak is done.
In IndyCar racing, when it rains, we don't race on super speedways. But we're running this IndyCar on Goodyear Eagles to prove a point about wet traction, cornering, and stopping. What's the point? These are not Goodyear Racing Eagles. They're Eagle GSC street radials with dual tread design for outstanding traction in the dry and in the wet. Eagle GSC street radials only from Goodyear. We like to say the best tires in the world have Goodyear written all over them.
Join Ossie Davis and his real-life wife, Ruby Dee.
Do you think I might have time to look at some poems that I wrote about growing up as a young black man in the South?
Special 1-hour evening shade Monday.
I'm standing with the most and the least.
It's called the dry sump system. So 20 quarts of oil, a great part of which have already spilled out of that trunk tank, and they're draining it. They're cleaning up the trunk. They've got a problem. Back to you, Ken.
They have spewed oil all down pit road, and so they're having to take some extra time to dry that up as well.
You know, we've become accustomed to unusual things happening in this Busch Clash, and of course this is one of the most unusual and a little bit embarrassing really to a team that have something like this happen.
And of course they have a new crew chief in Mike Beam out there for them.
You know, the first thing somebody's going to say, well, boy, why would they stop the race for Bill Elliott and let him fix it? That's not the case. The other drivers, I'm sure, made the call from inside their cars. Hey, I got to get my car where I can see. So it's not only Bill Elliott, they're letting the rest of the guys clean their cars up so they'll be ready to go.
That's Mike Beam inside the car, cleaning up the oil, and I'm sure they've already fastened the oil line that was loose that caused all of this.
They're also making a run on the outside of the track, going down into turn number 1. There's a Speedy Dye truck. There you see Junior Johnson looking on as they continue to work on car number 11.
There might be one reason, you know, there's no doubt there's a little bit of oil on the track, but Ned, I think we sensed before this race started that we're going to probably see the biggest shuffle that's ever happened at the first of the race. Usually guys will get the feel for the track. They don't have that luxury in this race. They're going to have to go the minute they drop that flag, and the track is going to have to be in good shape.
Over 4.5 minutes thus far, we've been under this caution in a red hold on pit road after problems on car number 11. We'll be back shortly.
Where to find the mountain man. A mountain man can often be found on the trail of adventure, in search of remote watering holes, or weathering harsh climates. Most often, however, you'll find the mountain man wherever you find smooth bush beer or easy drinking bush light. So, head for the mountains and find yourself in the wide, open world of the mountain man.
Start a project with Minwax Wood Finish and turn new into treasured, ordinary into extraordinary, even pine into cherry. Because Minwax Wood Finish makes it easy to turn any project into a beautiful masterpiece. Minwax makes wood beautiful.
Guess what motor oil gives you unbeatable wear protection? Give them a clue, Bert.
Quaker State.
What motor oil is unsurpassed in preventing sludge buildup?
Quaker State.
Now, guess what motor oil Bert uses?
Quaker State is one tough motor oil.
Good guess.
Last year, Marco Miro won it in a sudden death thriller. The AT&T Pebble Beach National Pro-Am continuing today on CBS.
In the 14 previous years, we've never seen one quite like this, Matt. Here's the entire field held up on the end of pit road. An oil down around the track as car number 11 had a major problem, and they continue to work on that car now, get that oil leak filled up and get this track back race ready. Here's Mike Joy.
Ken, on the pace lap, Sterling Marlin was the car directly behind Bill Elliott. Ken Wilson is his team manager. What did that car look like when it came in?
Our car was just dripping with oil. I don't know what, they had an oil line off or something, but the front of it and the windshield, there's no way that we could have started the race like that. He couldn't see nothing.
So it was a good decision to bring the field in.
Yeah, that's a real good decision. Sterling said it was just pouring out the back of the car, so I know the track's in bad condition. There was no way we could stay out there because he couldn't see.
We've got Speedy Dry now all the way around the track, and now the hood as well as the deck lid has gone up on Bill Elliott's car.
Pace car has pulled in front of the field now. It's just made a lap, come through the tri-oval, pulls down in front of Ernie Irvan and Brett Bodine. There you see Ricky Rudd's car a little further back.
What's kind of unique about this, we've seen them all morning and they're polishing and putting silicone on all the leading edges and just spending a tremendous amount of time getting these cars as slick as possible so they'll go fast, and here we oil them down before we ever start.
Field is rolling back out, getting set for a restart. Nary a lap complete here in the Busch Clash yet.
Without you, they'd never make it down this mountain. Horses don't show much appreciation, but a job well done still has its rewards.
Head for the mountains of Busch.
All-Pro quarterback Dan Marino.
When the game is over and the pain starts, I want two things from my pain-relieving rub: fast relief and no odor. So I use Sports Cream, a strong pain-relieving rub that doesn't make me smell like a medicine chest. I just massage in Sports Cream for fast, odor-free relief. Cream or lotion, Sports Cream sure gets my vote for fast relief and no odor.
Hey, I'm vain. Of course I'm vain. That's why I comb my hair the way I do. I stay in shape the way I do. That's why I use Power Stick.
50% more wetness and odor fighters per stroke. Power Stick by Fabergé. Power that won't let you down.
I told you I was vain.
He's back. This time we get him.
STP gas treatment. Cleans intake valves and fuel injectors to help engines run better. STP, the edge.
As times changed, so did the Ford full-size pickup. But it was always one tough truck, and boy, could it haul a load. Today, it's still tough, but it's designed to ride better. It has more style, more comfort, and boy, can it haul a load. Times change, trucks change, but Ford Tough never does.
The best never is.
For 500 unforgettable miles, live from the World Center of Speed, the Daytona 500, sponsored by STP, next Sunday on CBS.
We're back with you live. They're dusting off the field here, dusting off this 2.5-mile track, getting ready to go, hopefully shortly. Let's go to Chris Economaki.
Here with Mike Beebe. He's talking with Junior Johnson. Now we get Mike, what was the cause of the leak and how much oil spilled on the track?
Chris, it had too much oil in it. We changed the oil this morning from our qualifying stuff, and the oil level was too high. Someone just,
pumped it out.
It was just a mistake on someone's part, but luckily, I hope it's fine. It was just too high.
Okay, thank you. There you have it. It was overfilled, a rare mistake on the part of a professional racing crew. Back to you, Ken.
Chris, they're bringing the 11 car back to its original starting position. You see it trailing the field right here. Car number 11, Bill Elliott, as they bring them up. Now, they've tightened up these cars considerably after the qualifying runs yesterday. They've also closed down the noses on these cars, Ned, and with all that dust out there from the Speedy Dry, could be a factor.
Well, it could be a concern. They took a couple of laps and tried to blow as much of that off the racing surface as they possibly could, but there's still some out there, and certainly you don't want to get it matted into the grill area because it could shut off the airflow into the engine.
Yeah, when we see these cars, just like looking at Bill Elliott's, they've got most of the frontal area closed off with duct tape simply for this sprint. The more it's closed up, the faster they run, and they're going to be borderline as they are.
Now, if you're just joining us, let's review the field as they come down. It'll be Ernie Irvan and Brett Bodine in row 1, Rusty Wallace and Bill Elliott in row 2. We've had an 8-minute and 44-second delay. Let's go to Mike Joy quickly here.
Ken, this is Joe Nemorowski's ARCA car for a race later today. This is the dry sump tank that holds the oil. It's located back here in the corner of the trunk. These lines carry the oil up to the engine through a filter. There are lines on either end, so they had a lot of things to look at to see if there was something leaking or a problem, and it turned out, as Mike said, just to be a little bit overfilled. We'll hope he's okay.
Row 3 as they come down toward turn 4. Alan Kowicki and Sterling Marlin. Rick Mast, Mark Martin, Darrell Waltrip, Kyle Petty, Ricky Rudd, Ken Schrader, Earnhardt and Means, and Davey Allison rounding out the field.
Ed, we've talked about it. This is the time everybody really needs to be on the edge of their seat. A lot of races, you wait till the last lap. The Busch Clash, you watch those first couple of laps. Well, that's when the guys really make their moves.
Hugh Conradi lays out the green flag. Field is underway for 10 laps.
It takes these cars about 2 laps to get up to maximum speed. So right now they're going up through the gears. It's going to take them a full lap to get them up to speed. The back straightaways where most of the moves will be made coming off second turn.
Double file back in row 2 as Bodine, they try to stack them 3 wide going into the back straightaway as Ernie Irvin draws off by a 2-car advantage.
Here they are, 3 or 4 wide, 3 wide coming down there's Sterling Marlin on the inside of Rusty Wallace.
Elliott pinned up on the outside. Streaking away, Brett Bodine in second spot from Ricky Rudd's camera.
You can see he doesn't have much of anywhere to go. Here goes Darrell Waltrip down on the inside, though, picks up a good draft. He's following Sterling Marlin. 2 rows, 3 abreast.
Then we thought we'd see some of this in the first lap around. We're seeing guys down on the apron, 3 abreast all the way around the race. There's the 4 abreast right now.
Wait a minute, guys. This won't work.
Back to 3. Looked like Alan Kowicki was just getting shuffled in the middle on that car number 7.
In the past, in this race, the key is to get to the front. And we see the guys making some really crazy moves, but you have to do it to get to the front in this race. They were 4 wide again.
Irvin leading, Brett Bodine in second. Elliott coming back. Wallace, Waltrip down to the bottom.
And look at Earnhardt up on the outside there. He started 13th, has already moved up to 7th position.
Remember, he came up in a lap and 3 quarters. He won this thing 2 years ago in that second segment.
Now he goes to the inside. He was up on the outside the last lap, pulls on the inside of Sterling Marlin, takes another position.
Ed, in the past, we've seen that these guys have to have a partner. That hasn't changed. We're still going to have to see these guys making moves. That 2 abreast really works good. You single them out, it's still hard to pass like that.
Morgan McClure car stays out in front by a car length. Brett Bodine with a good run in second spot. There's Elliott in third. Deployed fourth is Rusty Wallace. And here comes Earnhardt, continuing to move up through. He's on the back end of car number 6, Mark Martin's 5th place machine.
Now he's going to the outside. He had some momentum going into the turn, moving around Sterling Marlin. Wow, look at him going to the outside of Martin, making it 3 abreast from the outside. You see it on the inside occasionally, but wow.
I tell you what, that's putting a lot of faith in that guy driving that 6 car. You got to let him know you're out there. Mark did a good job. He realized Earnhardt was out there and didn't pinch him on the wall.
3 wide to the corner, and you see Earnhardt clambering up through the field for 5th. Maybe that the black flag is going to come out again, and again it will be on the 11 car. See this time by.
Brett Bodine had a notion to try to take the lead, but now he moves to the inside. Ernie Irvin sort of blocked him there a little bit, pulled back down there, said, no, that's my groove.
That's when you try to make one of these things about 40 foot wide. When you're leading, you don't want to give it up. We see them really battling, trying to get a position on them. The last lap around was faster than the pole. That tells us the draft is back. They're running faster in the draft than they did for the pole. It's very seldom we see that the last few years.
Black flag is out. It does appear as if maybe there is some smoke and a little bit of a leak on the back of the number 11 of Bill Elliott. Here's Earnhardt trying to go on the inside of it.
Watching that number 11 Elliott car.
Boy, that was the move by Earnhardt. When he sees them give Elliott the black flag, you know they call it, he can't afford to follow him because Bill's got to come in this lap. He's on the inside trying to get around. Elliott is going to have to go another lap. He can't get in there, can he, Ned?
No, he can't get down to get into the pits.
Earnhardt to 3rd, Elliott 4th, Wallace 5th.
I expect there's been some complaining of the other drivers that there's some oil getting on their windshield from Elliott's car.
Again, you saw the consultation flag out for number 11.
Here's Earnhardt going for the lead in turn 1. Can he get by Ernie Irvin. No, he has to fall back in line. Well, no, he's not falling back in line. That's not his style. He just goes to the front.
Stays right on the bottom.
The key is, can he clear him? Yeah, he did clear him, just barely off that corner, Ned.
That's another vote of confidence in his own mind that he had him cleared there.
Elliott slowing down.
Yeah, Elliott did pull the inside, give the guys room.
From 13th position at half distance, Earnhardt out in front and drawing away by 3 car lengths.
Yeah, that's the surprising part, that he's pulling away.
You know what? After the season Earnhardt had last year, that's almost got to be one of these guys' worst nightmares, to see him be able to come back and run as strong as he is right now.
Brett Bodine falls to 4th, Kowicki 5th, Kyle Petty 6th, Rick Mast right there in 7th. Davey Allison from 15th, now deployed right behind car number 7, Kowicki. Elliott's on pit road.
Now Ernie Irvin has picked up the draft on Earnhardt and pulled back up to him. He had a tremendous amount of momentum when he went by him, and that just shot him out in front by 2 or 3 car lengths. Look at him, jockey back, and there's Davey Allison, who started dead last, trying to come up, into 3rd position if he can make this pass.
Yeah, he's got Ricky Rudd helping him. Ricky got left behind on that move.
Alan Kowicki moved down behind him.
The problem we've got here, we've got a 5-wide straightaway, 3-way corner. You got to straighten out before you get in that end.
That was for 5th place that Davey Allison tried to move into.
Coming by with Earnhardt 1st. Ernie Irvin in 2nd. Rusty Wallace 3rd. Brett Bodine in 4th. And Davey Allison now finds himself in 5th. 3 car lengths back.
And when they come back the next time, it'll only be 2 laps to go.
Let's go to Jeff Bodine standing by with Mike Joy.
First, Ken, Bill Elliott stopped. They raised the trunk lid to show the NASCAR official there was no visible leak, and he went back out onto the racetrack. Jeff Bodine, what do you think of the way this race has unfolded so far?
Well, I'm as surprised as everyone, including Neil Bonnet. Earnhardt is strong. It's unbelievable how he came through the pack. Of course, you don't know. Are these guys letting him go through? They're getting him to start last in that second 10 laps. We'll have to wait and see.
Jimmy Means continues to make a good run out here. Stays right in here and fights it out with his first Busch Clash appearance.
I'm just like everyone else. I'm guessing that they let him by, but the last lap around this racetrack was 190-something miles an hour. Once he got in the front, he really picked the pace up, Ned.
Yes, Earnhardt is leading them faster than Ernie Irvin was able to. Another indication of how strong his Chevrolet is.
What we'd like to see is, we were talking about the ability to pass this back a little bit. Okay, now can these 2 guys behind Earnhardt, it's going to take 2 of them. It's going to take the 4 and the 2 car of Rusty Wallace to try to gang up on the 3. 5 car having a little bit of problem over there.
Ricky Rudd way off the pace as he goes into 3. Here come the leaders. Earnhardt in 1st, Irvin 2nd, Wallace 3rd, Bodine, Davey Allison looking for room with a lap to go this time by.
This is show or tell. We'll be able to see if that draft is going to be effective enough to pull the other 2 cars around Earnhardt.
$25,000 at stake here for winning this 10-lap first half.
And a lot of bragging rights goes with it.
GM cars running 1st, 2nd, 3rd.
There's Irvin taking a look to the outside. Earnhardt moved over. There's Irvin to the inside now. That's Davey Allison down the inside making a strong move.
Got a good run on Brett Bodine. Moved down to the inside, but now Bodine comes back up on the outside.
10 seconds to a payoff. $25,000 at stake. Earnhardt stays up in front. Here comes Ernie Irvin right after him. Down to the line. They put out the halfway mark and the caution flag to end the first 10 laps. So it's Earnhardt picking up right where he ended in 1991 when he swept both ends of this thing. You'll recall that it was in the second half of the race in 91 that he came from the rear of the field to pass the ball in just a lap and 3/4. Earnhardt winning the first segment, the first half, and we'll be back for the second half after these words.
Here's one way to make your all-purpose vehicle a true all-terrain vehicle. Here's another, the Goodyear Wrangler GSA with triple traction. It's like getting 3 tires in one. You get an area for quiet highway traction, for wet weather traction, and for rugged off-road traction from Goodyear. Wherever you drive, on the road, off the road, down the highways, wet or dry, get the tire that's like 3 tires in one. Wrangler GSA, only from Goodyear. You'll know why we like to say the best tires in the world have Goodyear written all over them.
What does it take to be a mountain man? Do you need a big horse? Do you need a deep tan? Do you have to have a saddle? Do you have to have the gear? Well, the simple truth is you just gotta have the beer.
Busch beer, an easy drinking Busch Light. Have you got what it takes to be a mountain man?
What does it take to live a mountain man's life? Get smooth Busch beer, is a drinking Busch Light.
We're back with you at the Daytona International Speedway. Some of the cars have come in at this halftime break. There you see Kowicki's car. The Pontiac is back there, the number 2. That's Rusty Wallace. Kyle Petty's car is on pit road, but the leader has stayed out there. In fact, the majority right now are still on the track.
A little bit surprising, Neil, that they didn't come in, but one race, the new tires run better and faster. Another race, maybe the used tires might be better. Goodyear continuously improves the radial tires that they're using now, so maybe the new tires are a hindrance here.
Ned, I think what they found down here with this limited amount of power you have, when you put the new tires on, it actually slows the car down. It gets such a good grip that it slows the car down for 2 or 3 laps. And in those 2 or 3 laps while the tires are coming in, you can go from the front to the rear. So I think these guys are going to be content to go with what they have on the car.
Here's Mike Joy.
Well, Neil, everybody along pit road toward turn 1 has tires mounted and up on the wall. I think some of the drivers might have expected pit road to be closed the first time around, as it usually is under a Winston Cup caution flag. But virtually everybody has sticker tires mounted up here and ready to go on the car. We'll see what happens when they come around this time.
Earnhardt going for his 5th win in 7 Busch Clashes. He started to win back in 1980. Let's look at the order of finish from the first half of the 1993 Busch Clash. Earnhardt coming across with Ernie Irvin in second, the guy who'd been on the pole. Rusty Wallace getting third, Davey Allison fourth, and Brett Bodine finishing in the 5th position. Alan Kowicki gets himself 6th, Kyle Petty in 7th, Rick Maston 8th, 9th is Sterling Marlin, and 10th is Ken Schrader. And finally, Jimmy Means winds up in 11th spot. Mark Martin was 12th, Ricky Rudd 13th, Darrell Waltrip 14th, and Bill Elliott finishing last. They'll now invert the order, and Bill Elliott will come from the point. Here's Mike.
Dale Earnhardt is in for service. New crew chief Andy Petrie has replaced his predecessor Kirk Shelmerdine in that position, and also changing the right front tire. Earnhardt will get 4 all the way around, and a very careful wipe of the windshield as he looks at that left corner of it. Hank Jones puts the squeegee to it. Car up in the air on the left side, and again a brand new set of Goodyears going on for this final 10-lap sprint. Let's go down pit road to Chris.
Okay, I'm down here with Bill Elliott. Bill, is the car running okay with this problem?
Well, it's running fine. Just that we had, I don't know what happened in the back because of the oil leak, but now we're having a little bit of an oil pressure problem.
Low or high?
Low.
Tough break for Bill Elliott. Won the 500 here in 1985. So this car is a trouble car in this Busch Clash today. Back to you, Ken.
The 87 Clash winner. And again, see the rear deck up on that car.
They might say, how could it damage a motor? Usually low oil hurts the motor, but when you have too much oil in one of these engines, that tank pumps too much in the engine and it starts foaming. It gets too much in the pan, it foams, it aerates the oil, and then it burns the bearings out. So he might have a problem if he's fluctuating with the oil pressure this early.
So here's Bill Elliott coming back out. He'll lead the 15 cars down for the second half of the Busch Clash.
You start it every morning. Start after start after start. When most of your oil is still down in the pad, you start metal-to-metal contact. You start engine wear. Now help stop it with the latest breakthrough from STP. Engine treatment. It bonds right to engine parts. Independent tests proved it. Just add a quart at your next oil change and help stop engine wear before you start with STP engine treatment.
With Minwax polyurethane, you can do more than admire your wood. You can live with it too, because Minwax contains pure urethane oil to protect wood while giving it beauty you can really live with. Minwax keeps wood beautiful.
Guess what motor oil gives you unbeatable wear protection? Give him a clue, Bert. Quaker State. What motor oil is unsurpassed in preventing sludge buildup?
Quaker State.
Now, guess what motor oil Bert uses?
Quaker State is one tough motor oil.
Good guess.
In IndyCar racing, when it rains, we don't race on super speedways. But we're running this IndyCar on Goodyear Eagles to prove a point about wet traction, cornering, and stopping. What's the point? These are not Goodyear Racing Eagles. They're Eagle GSC street radials with dual tread design for outstanding traction in the dry and in the wet. Eagle GSC street radials only from Goodyear. We like to say the best tires in the world have Goodyear written all over them.
Back with you at Daytona. Joining us today is Airship Shamu, the SeaWorld blimp, measuring 194 feet in length, 67 feet tall, 2/3 the length of a football field, and nearly 7 stories high, giving us some great pictures of the Daytona Speedway. You see this rampage that's going on now. They're trying to get themselves organized for the restart for the second half. Let's look at the starting grid for this second half. Bill Elliott will be up in front. Darrell Waltrip, a couple of previous winners in the front row. Row 2 will be Ricky Rudd and Mark Martin, both looking to win this thing for the first time. Row 3 is Jimmy Means and Ken Schrader, who has won it back-to-back. Then in row 4, there you see Sterling Marlin in the number 8 and Rick Mast. Row 5 will be Kyle Petty and Alan Kowicki. For row 6 on the restart, Brett Bodine is there and Davey Allison. Going to row 7, Rusty Wallace and Ernie Irvin, who led the majority of the laps in the first half. And it's Earnhardt from out back. And we see Davey Allison pulling onto pit road as the field comes by. 1 lap and they're supposed to be racing. That's what we said at the start of the first half, and you know what happened. Here are the statistics on that first half. 186 mile an hour average net.
It's a pretty good average, really, considering takeoff and getting up to speed.
Of course, the big statistics there is Earnhardt from 13th to 1st.
It's almost misleading when you said lead change at 1. We saw a lot of changes. We saw some 3 and 4 breast racing. This second half should even be more exciting.
Here's Mike.
Davey Allison came back in because the new set of tires he put on the car felt were perhaps out of balance, or perhaps one had the pressures equalized between the inner liner and the outer tire, so no penalty for him to come back during this halftime break and change them again. An interesting contrast on pit road. You saw Ricky Rudd fall back in the latter laps of that first half. The car was overheating when it was in the draft. When he got back out into clean air, the heat cooled down. He was okay. Now, by contrast, 2 of the Fords, Allison and Alan Kulwicki, came in during halftime to tape over the grills to make the cars more aerodynamic, but they'll get less air through there to cool the radiator.
Now, Mike, we know that Ricky Rudd would not have backed off to get start near to the front. I'm sure that car was overheating pretty good.
You know, when we're looking here at Bill Elliott, a little bit of adversity in that first one might have put him in the driver's seat. He was the guy that was leading the winner. He was leading Earnhardt a while ago. He's in good. If he hasn't damaged that motor, he's in excellent shape right there.
Davey Allison back with the field. Up on the 31-degree banking. On the east end, getting set for a start. This is the one that pays $35,000. But as far as these drivers are concerned, Neil, race is a race.
That last one was the first race of the year. This is the second race of the year. So they're going to run just as hard.
And I think it's going to be exciting to watch Earnhardt come from the back and see how far he can get. It won't surprise me to see him get back to the front.
Green is down.
We saw him on the first race. As soon as they hit the back straightaway, we saw him go 3 and 4 wide. Look at him jockeying around now. It takes him a while to get him up to speed, and then we'll see him jump all over the racetrack.
They're getting up enough speed now that the draft is beginning to come into effect. And we'll see them, as Neil said, when they come off of turn 2, they'll start that jockeying for position down the back stretch.
Here we go, 3 and 4 wide. I think they learned something from that first race. From the rear to the front is capable of doing it. With Mark Martin's car up high, there's 11 car down below him. Bill Elliott, Waltrip on the outside pole. They're side by side.
To end lap number 1, here's Elliott squirting back in front of the line, just there in front of Waltrip. Ricky Rudd right in behind him.
Yeah, they're hoping they can break away and get somebody on their bumper. Waltrip has been able to get singled out there, and he said, somebody follow me so we can get broken away from this pack.
Brett Bodine's right in the middle of the pack. You can see the cars just buffeting around. The entire car is shuffling around. They're not moving around. There's a lot of buffet area with that much momentum, with that many cars going through.
There's Earnhardt down on the inside, going 3 abreast into that turn. Ernie Irvan backs out a little bit, gives him that running room.
Here he is up beside Wallace. Davey Allison on the outside. Watch the black number 3 as he tries to find a hole. Here he is diving back to the inside another time. And he's underneath Kyle Petty.
You know, we've said this before, Ned, it's like climbing a ladder. You go from one rung to the next. You step on this guy, you go to the next, you step on him. You got to pick them one at a time, and Earnhardt's really been moving on the inside.
And there he is, trying to move on the inside of Martin. No, he says it's not the time to do it. There was not room down there for him to do it that time.
Sterling Marlin on the bottom. Earnhardt looks on the high side of him in that shuffle in the back straightaway. Meanwhile, up in front, the war continues. Waltrip there and Elliott. It's amazing how Earnhardt keeps running this like a quarter-mile track, finding those little holes and popping through.
He's a master at it.
We've almost calmed down to 2 abreast racing. That's going to make the passing tough. We need to see him mix it up, or there'll be a lot of passing going here.
Well, with him coming up there now behind well, he's not going to stay behind long. Behind the 8 car of Sterling Marlin, that's allowed push Bill Elliott back up on the inside of Darrell Waltrip.
We're going to need this 3 abreast back here for really to get the draft spread out. I can't help but think we'll see these guys jumping out of line, see if they can make that move.
Interval from first to last, 9/10 of a second. Waltrip stays up there with Elliott, Schrader, Martin in those top spots. And here, inching his way along, comes the black number 3.
Hasn't been able to create a hole here yet in this, once he got up to that position.
You know, before he was able to capitalize on those cars all the way across the racetrack. They're settled into 2 abreast, and it's going to be hard for someone to make a move.
Back in that 3rd row, tagging along with Schrader. There's the break on the inside. Sterling Marlin dives down low, going for the lead. Waltrip there.
Earnhardt goes with Marlin. Elliott went from 1st to 6th.
You know, we saw Sterling Marlin take that look 2 or 3 times, and then when he finally made it, Earnhardt went with him, and they were able to clear him. There's Sterling taking a run for the lead.
Sterling Marlin out in front. Remember, he won the first segment a year ago. Finished 6th in the 2nd segment. And here comes Earnhardt, storming. Bottom of the racetrack. Finds those holes around Schrader. Earnhardt is back.
I'll tell you what, Earnhardt and Schrader worked good together on these big racetracks. I wouldn't doubt to see them gang up on the 8 car and try to make the pass. As I say that, here we go 4 abreast. There goes those plans.
Yes, Schrader hasn't been able to clear Darrell Waltrip yet. Now he does.
From the blimp, watch as Earnhardt inches along on the inside, making his move for the lead.
Motioning Ken Schrader, said, come on, buddy. You're my Chevrolet buddy. Let's move.
Schrader's pedaling as hard as he can pedal. It just won't quite get there. Here he comes now. He is going to clear him going down in the corner.
To my joy with Jeff Bodine.
Jeff, Dale Earnhardt made that move on the bottom. As we watched, you were head shaking.
Well, I guess it's pretty obvious to everybody watching. Earnhardt has a strong race car, and the move Sterling made to go into turn 1 opened that whole situation up for Dale. He took advantage of it, and it doesn't look like anyone's going to be able to beat that 3 car.
Rusty Wallace theorized that as long as the pack was 2 abreast up front, it would all log jam behind until somebody got out front. Will this really change the complexion of this race?
Well, sure will. You know, now they're lined up in front, and if the guys in the back can get in line and catch those guys in front, maybe there will be another move made by someone. But look, they're just staying side by side behind those front 3, and they're losing ground.
GM cars running 1st, 2nd, 3rd. But the big story here, the man in black is back. Still looking for that first Daytona 500 victory. It certainly will give him an edge going in the odds for next week's race.
What they got to be thinking, they said, we're going to use our 2nd best car for this race because we've never won the 500. This is their backup car, and boy, is it performing.
And Jeff Bodine made a good point there. Those cars are singled out in front. They're going to pull away from these cars racing with each other back there if they aren't careful.
They were in Brett Bodine's car. You can see they're working as hard. They've got to try to make these moves. Everybody said, well, why don't they stay in line? They can't afford to. They're running out of laps. They got to pass some of these other cars. And in turn, like you say, Ned, they're pulling away the lead cars.
scramble is on, but it's all over up in front. Earnhardt driving away with Schrader in second, Ernie Irvan in third. There you see them as they come around with a couple of laps to go this time by.
Whenever Schrader, he was playing a little bit of game right there. Schrader laid back. Him in the 4-car, either Earnhardt had enough strength to pull away, but that's the first time they gave him about 3 car lengths. Watch them reel him in right here. They might be playing with us last lap.
I think that's exactly what they're doing. They're seeing how far they need to be back to build up the momentum to go by once they get the white flag.
Mark Martin back there in fourth, about 20 car lengths from that trio leading the event as time runs out. And it's even across Ricky Rudd and Sterling Marlin.
It's just going to be an indication of next week when we throw 30 more of these guys out there, turn them loose like this. It's going to be a great race, I tell you.
Ned, you got a prediction about next Sunday based upon what you're seeing now?
Well, Kyle Petty, of course, sitting on the pole for the Daytona 500, and Dale Jarrett on the outside. Both of them, I think, will be strong factors, but you look out for these cars right here, and Earnhardt in particular.
Here comes Schrader. White flag, 1 to go.
Boy, Schrader took a look at him off the 4th turn, so he's got it in his mind. He can try him.
Okay, he's back just a car length or two. It looks like he's right on his bumper right there. But see, when he goes into the turn, he's back just a little bit. He needs to be back a little bit to get some momentum going down the backstretch, but he'll need Irvin to come with him.
4-time winner, Earnhardt out in front in his 7th appearance. Schrader, who's won it.
Walking.
89. Oof.
Earnhardt came down on the inside. Schrader tried to make the move. Earnhardt went down with him.
That little black car can get as wide as any of them on the racetrack. He's going to be a handful off this corner.
Final turns. Neil, this is the car you were practicing for, Dale, earlier. It looks stout.
Yeah, I tested a few times with it, and it was an old backup car. It looked like it's doing a pretty good job here, I tell you.
Coming to the line, the 1993 Busch Clash. And for the 5th time, checkers come out.